Hey guys, Rich here at RCINFORMER. Welcome back. See y'all guys are starting to come into the chat. Appreciate y'all coming today. If you guys can, please give me a Hey guys, Rich here at RCINFORMER. That's not supposed to be on there. Give me a thumbs up, guys. If your audio and video and everything sounds good. We're trying out some more new equipment today, as I'm usually using. I have a second computer over here I was monitoring things with. So let me turn that volume down so it doesn't get me off track there. But I see in the house we got Hal Roffner. I think I said that right. Roffner. Mike Bird's in the house. Ghost RC. And waiting for some more. Olson Aviation Crew Chief got thumbs up from guys. I'm assuming that means you guys got good good audio, good video. Floppy props and wobbly wheels. Ghost RC. Let's see. Let me get back to a different page. I'll minimize a little bit here. And thank you guys for coming by. And let me move this page a little bit. And wait for a few more guys to come on. Looks like we got about 15 guys. Just waiting for some more. And Mike Bird says, hi, Rich, all good. I think he's overseas, if I'm not mistaken. Floppy props and wobbly wheels. Alexis Herrera's in the house. Gooniac. What's up, Rich? Gooniac's here. Got to talk to Gooniac. Gooniac's going to get us an afterburner for the giveaway, which is coming up, and that's going to come up soon. And here, I'll go ahead and throw this thing up here. All right, here it is. Drum roll, please. All right, guys, we hit 20,000. We did it a lot faster than we thought, and we're climbing. We're about to hit 20,100 here, with a couple more subscribers. So we're going really at a fast rate. We actually tripled the rate at which we were growing normally, so we hit 20 faster than we thought. So we are going to have we're going to have a giveaway here coming up here pretty soon, and we'll kind of announce that officially when we're doing it, because like I said, it came sooner than we thought, and so it won't be right away, but we'll do it here probably in the next couple weeks. So we'll announce all that. So let's see, who else is here? Gab's here. That's Gavin Street, so check out his channel there. Paley Bond is here. Douglas Neft, I think I said that right. From South Africa, we got Douglas Neft from South Africa, and the time is currently 2100 there. Okay, so it's all right. Okay, so it's 9 at night. So I started this at a time where at least you can see it. It's not 3 a.m. or anything. So. Olson's saying, way to go, Rich. Congratulations, Rich and Steve. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, check out the video we did of Steve. We gave him a F7F Tiger Cat. It was pretty awesome. I just contacted the factory and said, hey, Steve's been doing this for years. Kind of long overdue, giving him something for helping us all out and, doing the nice FMS videos. So, and they said, sure. They said, no problem. And they approved it immediately, sent it over. And so they were glad that they said we were glad you were thinking. It's real nice to think of your team and all that, and we can't do it without Steve. So guys, you got to give a big round of applause for Steve King, who does all the filming for us. He's just awesome. So he's going to get that Tiger Cat going here pretty soon, and then we will get it out for everybody. We'll do probably a show of him flying it and so forth. So let's see, Les Burnham's in here from Essex, England. Appreciate it when you guys tell me where you're coming from. I know I'll learn everybody soon. I know Les has been here a bunch from England. So, and let's see, Gav Street, when Steve's Steve's been working. So he's like, man, last time I talked to him, he's like, we were going to maybe do it this weekend, but there's like gale force winds out there. So he's got to get it together, which is pretty simple. So once he gets it together, we'll get it out and made, and we'll do some flights for you guys with it. That'll be here pretty soon. Let's see, Gooniac says he's balancing a fan. And let's see, Dad's RC Hangar. Hey, Rich, congratulations. Thanks. And Dad's RC Hangar. Yep, he's in the UK as well. Ghost RC's in Las Vegas. So, yeah, if you guys, when you log on or, throw it in there when we first start, tell me where you're coming from. I know I'm learning them all because you guys are here often. the same guy. So Air Hammer's here as well. Air Hammer RC's here, checking it out. We're going to hit about 30 people here on so far. A lot of stuff to talk about, guys. I might have been a little ambitious doing this, so we'll get through really as much stuff as we possibly can in this for sure. So, but as you can see down in the title there at the bottom, we're going to cover a bunch of stuff. The Atlas, I got a list here to show everybody, so I actually am kind of semi-prepared anyway. We had TopGun all last week, so that kind of slowed me down a bit. But we're going to do a bunch of trucks for everybody. Here, let me get the, I'll move the 20 subs thing a little bit here. I'll put it over here, and I'll shrink it a little bit. Here, let's put it over here, and let me transition that over so we can kind of get that out of the way. I'm learning to use this stuff, so but we'll have we're going to do a good unbox here of the Atlas. I may do some other videos of these later individually in videos, but I figured we'd show you these because these are like sister cars here. So we'll do an unbox, kind of detailed plug-in of the Atlas and the Katana. You know, I've never been a car guy, but since RocHobby did the Scalar, the MB, that thing is so cool, and the detail and the suspension on these things is awesome. The lighting package is so cool on these, and they come in this really nice, you know, display or nice transport case as well that you can kind of keep your things in nice order and transport them around. What's best for these things for me is like when I go to events and air shows and stuff, I bring them all with me now when they're, especially when they're longer events, and then my kids, they all drive them around. So it's awesome that the kids driving the cars around. I'm doing planes, and you know, kind of we can show them off. But again, down at the bottom of the video or right at the lower edge of it there, you'll see we're going to show you the Atlas, the Katana. We'll talk a little bit about the Corsair. I got the Corsair sitting right here. We'll talk, and I'll answer questions for you guys about the props and the motors and what's going on with all that stuff. CJ-6 as well, which I have. That's why I put this sideways up here. CJ-6 is awesome, guys. We've put out a few videos. I got another video coming here soon with Steve flying it. And Steve flew the heck out of it. It is a tremendous aerobatic plane. It's basically a Chinese P-28 is what it is. And it's tricycle gear, great lighting package, super aerobatic, fast, slow, 4-cell powered. It's just an awesome flyer. So you guys can get those at Horizon now. I'll put the links in the description below the video here. You guys can check out like kind of most all of this stuff. I think I got most of it in there. And then some new stuff to show you, just kind of sort of show and tell stuff. I'll probably start doing some more Zap videos and stuff, or Zap glue. I'll probably start using more of it. I was at TopGun, of course. You know, Frank Tiano, you know, runs that thing, and he's the Zap glue guy, of course, and also House of Balsa. And they have a new glue for foam safe CA, basically. I didn't know they had it, and Zap's always been the best around. There's a lot of other no-name brands and stuff, and actually a lot of guys at TopGun who are heavy builders, they mentioned to me that a lot of the aftermarket brands don't work so well, you know, or they don't hold up kind of as well as Zap does. So, you know, I'm going to get back into using some Zap, and we got this new foam safe. And actually, while I'm here, what I'm going to do is give you guys a short camera demo. I got a new camera overhead, so let's see. Let me give that a shot real quick and see if I can transfer that over to you guys and see how that works right now. There we go. And so I'm starting to install cameras. So this is a test of my new camera system here, but also this is what it is, guys. It's a Zappo Foam Safe CA shockproof. And let's see, I got my other one down here. Shockproof here, I'll put that down there. No accelerator required, odorless, non-irritant, resist water and temperature. So I'll be putting this to use in some of my videos as well. So we'll talk about this as the days go on. But check these out, guys, at houseofbalsa.com down below, or, you know, I put it right here. I don't think I put it in the description, but I probably will at some point here. And anyway, here, let me get back to my other screen. Let me go away from the build cam, make sure that's working. All right, we're there. All right, look, it's working. So, and other stuff to talk about. We'll get to as much as we can. We'll try. I was a little ambitious again in doing this. We'll talk a little more NX6 today. Really nice radio, folding antenna. This is going to be the new wave there. NS6, 8, and 10 is what Horizon's got. Great displays, a lot of features to it. And actually, this 6 channel is actually a 7, so we'll talk about that too. We'll go a little bit into the reflex gyro. We'll talk a little bit about hooking it up, and again, I'll probably do a separate video on that. And then we will talk Corsair a little bit as we get the questions and stuff. I have this so I can take it off and show you how easy it is to change the speed controller, because a lot of you guys know here let me just kind of lower this window. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. I can see y'all's chat log now. 35 guys watching. But as you guys know, in the Corsair, changed the speed controller out from the 80 to the 100, and I put the 360 kV motor in it, and then went to 8 cell on the old 300 motor, or the stock 300. So, you know, we'll be talking all about that. And I got a new prop coming for the Corsair. We'll talk about that. A lot of stuff to go into. So let's see what we have here. I'll try to answer some questions here, or go into what guys have said. It's 8:06 here in the evening. That's Paley Bond. And Jerry McGee's on board. Jerry and I were at TopGun. We'll probably start off with some pictures here. We'll go through some TopGun pics, probably show everybody. Let's see. EQRC, Air Quinn's in the house. Who do we got? Victor, RC Jets, he's there. Mike Bird. You sorted that Corsair with 8S, sir? Yeah, I did. And we have a new prop coming, guys, from the factory. They saw my videos. And I talked to them a lot, of course, you know, because I've been testing out their stuff and improving it for years now. And they said, you know, that we think it's a propeller issue. So I don't know exactly what that means, other than maybe they meant to put more pitch in it. So they said they were testing a new prop this last Friday, and they were going to send me the new props from the factory. And I think it's a prop with more pitch is what it's going to be. So we may yet have another power option because of the new prop, pitch in the prop. So as soon as I get that from the factory, I'll be testing you. We'll put it on the Corsair. We'll hold off on the Corsair because we've done enough videos of it now. I think we'll hold off and talk to you about more of with the new prop in it on it and everything. So I'll see when it comes and see what the difference is. So, but I think it's more pitch. So so we may, the option that I use, the power options I put on it, you know, with the new speed controller, actually make it so you can fly it on 6 cell and 8 cell. It's a powerhouse on 8 cell for sure. FMS did it right when they made this thing, and I just wish they had put a little more power in it, but that's coming. So, and of course, the battery compartment's big enough that it can handle 8 cell pretty darn easily. So it's to me, it's a bigger airplane. It's an 8 cell plane for me anyway. But we'll see what the new prop does. Let's see, what do we got? EQRC said new camera works great. Appreciate it there. Who else do we have? Victor, working on cleaning up the MiG fuselage while painting updated version Kali graphics. Gav, hey, Rich, got the new receiver for my F-18. That's Gab said that. And hi from Scotland. That's Larry he's in the house. We got guys from everywhere. Africa, Scotland. This is cool. Appreciate it. Did you see Hamilton's? Yeah, EQRC said, did you see Hamilton's FMS V4 4U V1 blow up? Yeah, I don't know if it blew up, but it looks like something maybe came off of it and it went kind of crashing down. And when it hit the ground, it caught fire. So it could have been speed controller, could have been battery. I don't think it caught fire while it was flying. It was after it hit the ground. And I've had planes hit the ground and catch fire too. Usually battery, speed controller. It could have been a number of things. I'll probably talk to him about that a little bit. We'll probably talk on the phone or something. I meant to actually call him this morning, but I got kind of busy. Let's see. We'll chat about that and talk about that. Let's see. Anybody using ZTW ESCs for motion? Mike Bird. Hi. Scotland from England. Yeah, Scotland and England are talking. All right, that's a good thing. Rich, question off topic. And Horizon did not say, can RealFlight 9.5 simulator be operated via any transmitter via a dongle? Not 100% sure, but I think so. I think you can operate it with about anything. And in fact, these new ones are supposed to operate, I believe, wirelessly with them. And there's also USB in the back. So, so yeah, I think so, especially if it's a newer radio, you should be able to. We just gave away 4 of them at the Triple Creek RC event. So, they had the wireless dongles. They were software only with the wireless dongles, so you had to have a Spektrum transmitter to be able to use it there. So a lot of options. Let's see. And the new NX series, of course, those all work wirelessly with the simulators. So, and actually they work with other simulators apparently too. So several others. Let's see. Lorena says, hi, did get some flying done today. Afternoon, everyone. Pilot Jerry RC's here. Okay, guys, we got about 43, so we'll probably start into this. Let's see what we're let's see what we're going to start with. Let me switch over to my other display here, and I'm going to throw some Top Gun pictures. Might as well talk a little about that, because that was some cool stuff that went down there. And in fact, I am going to slide my camera over. Oops, I'm going to slide my camera over here just a little bit, just so I can get a little more of me in there and less of all this other stuff. So here, let's see. We'll put this up here just as best I can, and let me throw some pictures up. Let me transition this over. All right, guys, some pictures from Top Gun. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Let me see if I can flip those back. If it'll let me do it. There, it's letting me go back. Previous. Here, we'll flip back a few pictures. See if I can get back to the beginning here. These are some of the bigger planes that we saw. These are some of the first few photos. There's a lot of stuff to check out. And I'll try to, actually, I'm just going to move myself over. Really nice airplanes they had there, as you guys can see here. Lots of big warbirds and stuff. And I'll kind of thumb through these here as best as I can. And so I can also see you guys in here. These were a bunch of Corsairs, big. There's some heavy iron there, guys, over at Top Gun. The things they had there were awesome. I mean, these are a couple of Corsairs, P-51s, and this is sort of the lay of the land. Let's see, Enrique just came on board. Ivan Howard from Panama. We got guys all over. This is awesome. Pilot Jerry says, congrats on the 20,000. Appreciate that. I'm just trying to get myself in the middle of these two windows here. In fact, let me move this one up a little bit out of the way. Just kind of get this thing tweaked a little bit. I'm just going to move this window kind of up to the corner if I can do it. There we go. I'll transition and shrink that, give myself some more space there. But anyway, some of the pictures here, folks. Let me go back here just a little bit. Let's see here. Here's a picture of John Burden and with my F-14, and there's Jerry McGee. I flew the F-14 in the Top Gun event, and I did it without any stabilizer. You know, I just went there to fly my F-14 at the event. Frank Tiana was cool enough to invite me there with Jerry and John and all that. So we kind of was the inaugural flight of EDFs there. So got to fly my Top Gun at F-14. So can't ask for too much more than that. It was awesome. I flew it without a gyro, non-stabilized, swept the wings, did my whole routine. It was just fun. It was just cool to fly there. Here's a big B-17. This was electric that they actually had there flying at the event. And I'm going to kind of thumb through some of these quick. I have some duplicates of a lot of these photos. This is the main flight line. You can see here where all the competition was going on. Because Top Gun is a competition. It's you fly one time a day. That's kind of a bummer about it. But you do a routine that you have set planned. Here's the Corsair again that was parked next to me. Big model. And you guys can feel free to jump in, and I will try my best to answer your questions, because I can see y'all's chats and stuff here as I'm doing this. So, and then let me get on to the next slide here. I can thumb ahead. Let's go to some of these. It was like a construction. It was almost like a heavy maintenance base, because guys were working on stuff all the time. We had a heavy crosswind, so guys in the event, well, I mean, we were flying with probably 15, 20 knots of crosswind, for me anyway, with a non-stabilized swept wing Tomcat, and a couple times almost even lost it in the wind. But anyway, but the guys had to fix airplanes because some guys ran into fences, tore their landing gear off, because it's kind of Top Gun. So let me get across. I'll zoom through a few more here. Sorry, I'm flipping through some of the same ones, but this seems to be kind of going crazy on me here. Let me see if I can get ahead to some of these pictures. Oh, it's cycling through. It's almost like it didn't get me all the pictures that I wanted to put up here. Very interesting. It's like, all right, I thought I had put a whole bunch more pictures in here, guys, but it didn't seem to show those off. It's only showing a few of them. So let me get into there and see if I can clean that up a bit. Properties. Let me see if I can load up some more pictures. It only loaded up a few here. Let me see if I can load up the rest of these here. I'm going to kind of go into some other stuff here, and let me see if this will allow me to load up more pictures here. I'm going to try this, and if you guys give me a second, because I'm kind of off screen, I'm going to try to load up some more pictures, and I don't know if it's going to allow me to do it. So, but let me see. It looks like it didn't like do the full gamut of what I wanted to have in there. So let's try this now. Again, I don't know if it's going to let me do this. If the picture thing's screwed up, it's kind of not my fault. Let me get through a couple of these, or I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's only letting me do a few here. Let me scroll through some of these. It may have a limited memory or something that's not letting me put too many pictures up here. I know you're seeing the same pictures over and over again, but for whatever reason, it didn't. Yeah, it looks like it's not putting the pictures up I want. So, all right, we'll probably save the pictures for another time. All right, technical difficulty here, guys. I don't know why it didn't load all the pictures I put on there. So I'll probably put that. I'll do it for another time then. I don't know why the pictures didn't come up there. Not really sure, but yeah, for some reason it didn't load up all the pictures that I asked it to. So I'm not sure why. So anyway, we will probably just move on to something else here. So yeah, Dad's RC. Yeah, sorry about that. For some reason, I loaded a gambit of pictures and it only let me have a few up there. So not sure why it didn't throw the rest of them up there. Yeah, that B-17 was awesome. Weather in U.S. always makes your events look good. Yeah, well, when it's good. After this year's pics and videos event we all have, yeah. Let's see. I wish Top Gun was not so far. Yeah, I wish it was not that far away. For me, it's just an hour away, so it's pretty good. So anyway, here, let me get rid of this thing. I don't know why that's playing. Let's see. I'm just messing with my software here, folks. Anyway, I think what we'll do is, since the pictures are not working, I will probably get on to doing an unbox here. So let's go with that. I'll get a couple things here out of the way, slide a few things over, and we'll switch over to my camera and we'll unbox this thing and see what we got. So we'll pull all this down. We'll do a couple of these first. Let me pull this down. I'll move this out of the way. I'm just going to put this here. We'll go on to the next camera here. And we'll probably start off, guys, with the Atlas. In fact, I'll put that right down there. Let me switch over my camera. Again, trying a new camera mount here and everything. I'll transition over to that, and you guys can see there's my list of stuff here. And we will talk about this. I'm going to run. I've been dying to get this thing set up, and I'm going to kind of walk around here and kind of get my hands on this thing. I think you guys can probably see this okay, and I can see y'all's comments and stuff. Open a box, Mike Bird says. Yeah, let's do it. I've been really wanting to get into this thing, and I hope you guys like the new camera. It should be clean on the video, so we'll get right into this. It's a really nice model all the way around, and I'm real impressed with how FMS is doing some of these things here. These things are so nice coming out of the box. And we'll go over some of the specs here real quick. You can see right here, I'll zoom in here a little bit. And let me know what the quality is on this, guys. It should be pretty good because I'm 1080 at 60 frames and we're plugged into the wall with a brand new camera here. So, but you can see here, true ladder frame truck chassis, 6x6 all-wheel drive, high torque transmission, big block MT tires, 1-inch beadlock truck rims, really cool. True scale, pinion gears, ring gears. Waterproof electronics. It's pretty impressive to see this thing. Painted Lexan body, and it's magnetic. It's got LEDs front and rear, aluminum anodized chassis rails, functional spare tire, high torque motor. It's a little motor, but it's got lots of torque. Long run time up to 30 minutes. This thing comes with a battery too. So chassis mounted servo with pan head bar. I'm not sure what a pan head bar is exactly because I'm not really a car guy, but this is cool. Check it out. All-wheel drive, 6-wheel. Here's some dimensions for you just to give you the basics. It's about 30 centimeters long. It's a smaller car than some of the others have been, but anyway, let's get it out. Here's what's cool about this thing. These things, the way that FMS is making these things, look how nice these things come out of the box. And they come with this really nice EPO foam kind of graphite transport case. It's all labeled nicely. I mean, check that out, nice quality. They even put everything you need, all the info on it, where it came from. And then here, I'll zoom right in on this. And it has a little finger slot that you can pull this up and check out how nice this is. coming out of the box. And it's all, look at this, it's a form-fitted transport case. So you can keep this thing in real nice order. And I've been really wanting to get in this for a while, but look how nice this thing is coming out of the box. It's got instructions right here, and wrenches and spare springs and stuff. But look how nice this is coming out of the box. I'm trying to show you this the way that I see it when I get it. And it's pretty slick. So when you're done driving this, you put it right back in the crate, this really nice, tough EPO crate. And then you get to it. You know, you transport it that way. It's pretty nice. So, and you've got your handle here. This is your grip. And then you've got your upper part of your radio transmitter here. And both these cars are really the same the way they have it. And then in here, you've got your charge cable, which is pretty darn neat. It's got lights in it to charge the battery, because the battery comes with this thing. All you got to do is put batteries in the transmitter. So I'll put links below in the description. You guys can get these at Horizon Hobby. And you know, you can get it there. You just click on the link and go to it. But real impressive. Look how nice this is. Look how nice and form-fitted this whole thing is. And look at this is what impresses me about this, is the detail of, you know, the drive mechanisms, the universal joints, the axles, how nice this is. Tires are nice and spongy and just very cool. You see the motor in there. It's a little motor, but it drives all 6 wheels. You can see, look how nice this all is back here. It's all connected and drives and everything. You got lights in the tail. These are both 2 lights. Independent suspension all the way around. I mean, look how nice that is. Very, very cool. It can kind of handle any terrain. It's a small car, but it's real nice. Headlights up front and single servo to drive. And it's 3 channels, so the 3rd channel actually allows you to turn the lights on and off. So we'll get into all that. And this is actually a Lexan body, but it doesn't really look like a Lexan body. It's so nicely painted, and the detail on it. I mean, look at that. Even the spare tire actually works. So if you wreck a tire, which, you know, whatever, you can unscrew this, and this is a working tire. So little space in the back here, I believe, for it's like a little storage area and stuff. And nice truck box back there. So we'll see. Oop, I just broke that off or popped it off. Get that back in place there. Yeah, just got to get it to fit in there. Snap that in. And let's see. So, and you open it up this way. It's magnetic. You see the rare earth. There's one, I think, either magnet or metal plate there, or the magnet's actually down here is where it is. And then this just connects right there. So, and there's your battery already mounted, kind of ready to go. And we can look at that really quick here. Let me kind of pan out on that just a bit. And yeah, this is impressive. This is really nice. And I'm trying to pull this off so I can show you the battery that comes with this. There's these little rubber kind of O-ring deals that are attached here, and they're not easy to get off. Let's see. Let's get this out of there. There's one, and then here's the other right here. If I can pull that off the latch, the ledge, a little ledge type thing. And this will give you an idea of the battery. It's easier to see this actually in the Katana, but there's your battery right there, 600 milliamp. It's a 2-cell, and I actually already fully charged mine. And then in the box, what it comes with here, let me pull this out of here. This is the charger, and it's pretty sweet. The charger actually, it's a very nice little plug-in-the-wall charger. It's 150. There we go. 150 milliamps. You can see right there. It just plugs into any USB, and you plug this in, and it gives you like a red and a green light when this thing is charging. It's pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to reach for my phone here and kind of give you a quick look at what that actually looks like. In fact, when it's done charging, or when it's charging, you see this is a picture I took of what it looks like when it's kind of done charging. It gives you red, and then I think it's a flash or green light when it's done, I think, and then it's like a flashing red and green. So it's a really nice kind of charger setup, how it all works and everything. So we'll get that back in there, and we'll plug this thing in, and we'll go with it. So we'll do a driving video of it later. Let me see if I can get this back in the way that it was. And let's see, the plug-in is here. Let me get the strap. The Katana is way easier to get the strap kind of back in there, but I'll just put this around. There we go. That's back in place. Get this O-ring here. Yeah, that's not too bad to get to, but you just got to kind of work your way through it. So do my best to put that back. And there we go. That's it. That's it back in place. But you can see in there your speed controller way down in there. Let me zoom in on that. There's your servo, speed controller, and everything ready to go. So once you get this out of the box and you're ready to go with it, it's really like this simple to get going. You just take your handle here, pop this out, and you can see right there your battery polarities and all that right there. So let me grab a few batteries here, and we will put these in. It's really this simple of a thing. Pop these things in here. Let's get these in place. There we go. Hopefully I put those in right. Yeah, doing this on camera is different than not. So, but get those in place, and you just pop that down in place. Let me zoom out just a bit. And then you just connect the two halves right here, just like so. This is a spring-loaded deal where you can press this in, and you can take this apart easily. And again, put it back in the box, transport it. Again, there's slots for everything, so it's pretty darn nice the way they have it. And then you have your switch here to turn it on. That's it. Turn it on. And then here's your third channel. You got trim for your steering, trim for your throttle. I'm not sure what the reverse does, but channel 3 to turn your lights on. So once you have that on, it's pretty simple to power this baby up. You just open this up, and you have an on-off switch, and this is pretty nice. This is supposed to be all waterproof, but you can see right down there, there's your power switch, and it's covered with a rubber boot. So it doesn't, you know, it's supposed to be waterproof, all this stuff, or at least most of it anyway. And then we'll plug it in. So you have one wire lead here. We will plug that in, and then we will switch this baby on. Let's see if I can get it going. The on position. The on position works best. So just by flipping that switch, you can see our lights are on, see our tail lights nice and bright. We got our headlights, and if I'm not mistaken, the remote turn those on and off, I think. So let's see. Oh, there it goes, working. And that's it. It's nice how this thing moves along. I'll give it a little power here. You can see it starts crawling right away. Starts moving. And let's see. If I remember correctly, the lights turned on and off. Maybe they don't on this one. We'll see. Let me try to do a restart on this and see if I can get it to, because I could have sworn the lights went on and off via the transmitter. So here's your steering. Maybe they don't, but we'll see. I'll mess with it. There's your steering. You can see how nice and smooth all that is. It's just really impressive to see the drive axles, the spring suspension, everything just sort of working here, you know, in unison here. Look how nice that all is. Look at that mechanism. Very cool how everything operates. It's just a very slick car. Great for crawling around. We'll do a demo of it later. Obviously, it's kind of hard to show it, you know, here moving along, you know, because it'll go flying off my tabletop. But very impressive car. Very bright lights. Just very, very cool. Let me try to get this. I want to turn this off for 1 second. See if I can get it back booted up. There we go. And see if we can get that all working. But nice, man. Very cool car. I'll have this out for a demo here, like just as soon as I can. And we'll drive it around and show you guys how this thing operates. Let me check out my steering here real quick. Seems like it's a little bit off. Let me see if I can trim that in one direction. Yeah, I'm trimming those wheels straight. Could have sworn those were straight before. There we go. So, but we have, well, now it doesn't seem to be working now. Let's see. There we go. Yep. And that's it, guys. Very cool car. I'm digging this. I'm not sure why the steering's not working now. I might have trimmed it too far the other way. Let's see. Let me mess with it here for 1 second. And we'll see. There we go. Now it's working. I might have trimmed it too far in one direction. I'm not sure why I did that. But anyway, very cool car. I'm just real impressed. These are metal right here, these covers over the exhaust. Those are probably exhaust diffusers. But you can see the motor in there, drive shaft, just really nice product all the way around. Super cool on the suspension, and you know, really nice detail all the way around. It's pretty impressive how detailed, how just real nice of a package it is overall. When you factor in just how nice the packaging is, how nice the model is, and the suspension, all these arms on ball links. In fact, here, I'll zoom in a little bit here. See if I can get down in there. Everything is on a ball link. You can see these things. Really nice detail and great, just awesome. I mean, I just can't get over how nice just the packaging of everything is and how the suspension, everything works. Everything works independently, and just a cool car. Nice quality, nice finished product. It's just really kind of neat. So what we'll do is I'll unplug this, and we'll get the next one out of the box. This is just pretty darn cool. Let me turn this off. Get that off, and we'll get to the next one here. Let me put the box back together here. I'll put the instructions. Actually, let's take a look at the instructions real quick. I kind of left that out. They do give you a wrench. They give you a screwdriver. That's pretty darn neat. You can see right there, so you can get your wheels off and everything. Screwdriver to take things apart. Extra set of springs, and then the instructions here. You know, pretty neat overall. So. Let's see, Dave from the Midlands, United Kingdom. He's in the house. Million Monster Air, finally here. Sorry, had a boating accident and had to try and find all my guns, but lost them. Oh, no, man, that sucks. Very nice. Just got the 1940. Andy Smith is on board. He just said that he just got the 1941 RocHobby Jeep. Yeah, I'm kind of looking around my corner here, guys, at the screen. Let's see. Let's see. Pity the bigger planes lose the scale look with the two prop configuration. Yeah. Let's see. E-flite 726 received my Corsair V3. One flat panel hangs about 1/4 inch below servo-driven panel. Was yours okay? Yeah, mine was pretty straight. That one was a little off, but not enough that I would work too hard at it or do anything to it. So. Here, back to this real fast, folks. This is the Chinese side. I can't do anything with that. And this goes into all the instructions on the Atlas, how to set this whole thing up and get it going. They go into here, some of the detail of the gearing, electronics diagram, and charging up the battery we just talked about. And then look at this, they talk about receiver installation, all that stuff, a lot of detail. And of course, the nice thing is they give you all the parts. You can see all the parts are kind of laid out here in real nice detail all the way around, and just an exploded diagram of everything. So lots of detail for this if you guys need parts for it or something. Again, you can check these out at Horizon Hobby. Again, I'll put the links below for this in the video description. And that is it for the Atlas. So we'll get all this stuff back in so I don't get it too confused. And we'll get on to the next one, which is the Katana. The Katana is really nice all the way around. This one's real impressive to me. They both are. And again, they're both similar vehicles. They're sister vehicles kind of because they run on the same control, and they're done kind of similarly. So same deal here, but this one is cool. I could have sworn the other one, the lights come on. I don't know why they're not working, but we'll talk about that probably in a later video. Let's see here. Katana 1/18th. This one has turn signals that work. It's pretty cool. And you can see here basic dimensions, about the same length. You know, it's about 30 centimeters long, or 28 centimeters, I should say. And then, you know, here's the specs on the thing. It has a, you know, injection molded hard body. So this is not Lexan. It is injection. Functional hood that's magnetic, and that's where everything is, battery and so forth. Scale interior features, multifunctional light control, channel 3 for on-off, functional indicators. I'm going to show you that. That's pretty darn neat. Rhino bumper kit and roof rack, high traction tires, MT tires with a 1-inch internal beadlock wheel, similar to the other, but the wheels are different on this. Realistic pinion and ring axle. Let's see, high torque transmission, 104/1, water resistant electronics, high torque oversized brushed motor. We'll look at that. Again, it's kind of a small motor, but it's pretty torquey for what it is. 2-cell battery, 30-minute run time, chassis mounted servo, aluminum rail frames, tuned coil shocks. So let's get into this. Let me pan out one more time. Again, folks, beautiful packaging on this. You can see how you get this out of the box nicely. And it's just the packaging of this and just the overall, you know, product you buy is just fantastic. It's labeled Katana. This is a high density EPO foam and a graphite kind of color. So you can transport your thing in this, your car in this. It's really nice. So you got a finger separator here at one end, so you can kind of pry this apart, get it out of here. And we'll pull this open and take a close look at it. And it's got locking tabs. Like when you snap it in, it snaps in place. It's not like a weak closure on it or anything, so it's kind of nice. It does keep your car in there pretty secure. But look at the form fitted, the molding on this, and how it is designed specifically to carry, your car in there, which is nice. So, and here we go, guys. Look how nice this thing is. I mean, this is cool. Again, same kind of controller, same exact controller actually. But again, you've got an injection molded body there. You got lights. I don't know if the top lights work. I'm not sure if they do or not, but I know the rest of them do. Tires and everything. So again, we'll get these out. There's your control handle, your grip, your upper part of the control module there with your throttle forward and back, and some accessories here. Again, they give you a T-wrench for taking wheels off, changing tires, that kind of thing. Another charger for this right here. Same charger, same deal. So you have a USB to plug it in. You can probably charge your battery with your own equipment too. And then you just look how nice this comes out of here. I mean, this is just so sweet how it just pulls right out. And again, you put it right back in for storage. And you have a form-fitting, really nice protective case to keep this thing in. Just real impressed. So we'll get this thing out of here and let's take a look at the interior. I'll see if I can get in here, if I can see. But there's a pretty detailed, if I can get rid of some of the glare here, there's a pretty detailed interior in here with seats and everything. So it's pretty darn cool. It's pretty neat. Spare tire is a working spare tire. Again, you can change. Roof rack, lights all the way around this darn thing. Very, very cool. Very, very nice fit and finish overall. And it's ready to run, man, just like the other. This is four-wheel drive, of course. Great suspension. You can see how nice this thing, these operate. Drive axles everywhere, suspension, trailing links, and just super nice. There's your servo for your steer in there, and just really, really cool. There's our motor in there. Again, a little motor, but it's got a lot. It's geared for torque, so very, very neat overall. So you can see your drive axles there are set up so when they compress, it continues to drive. It telescopes a little bit. So just really neat car all the way around. So to get into this thing, to get it going, this will peel off. I've been in here before, of course, but I left this here. So this is magnetic. You can see your rare earth magnets there. So when you close this, it snaps closed with magnets. Hold it down. So, and then here's your battery. Same as the other one. That's why I'm kind of doing these together, because they're similar cars here. But the batteries are right in here. Again, 600 milliamp two-cell machine. And then speed controller's right up front, kind of like just opening up any hood of a car. You've got your on-off switch right here. And this is nice because it attaches. It actually has a slider, if you could see in there, where it's actually designed specifically to fit in there. So there's your servo for your steering, headlights, and everything. So really sweet, folks. I'm digging this. Here's your antenna kind of all wrapped up, but they have it all in here. So everything closes up nicely, and you can just kind of plug it in and go. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just plug it in here because we have the on-off switch here. So let's get this going here. That's plugged in. Let me close the hood for 1 second, and let's get the radio together. And let's see how this is. So there we go. Same radio, same controller setup we got here. Again, you got your battery polarities in there. So I had 4 batteries rambling around here somewhere. Here they are. And we'll put these in here. So again, these things are great, folks. When I go to flying events, I drive them around, but I give them to the kids. Kids have a blast with these things driving around. Gives them something to do. And as long as you trust them not to break them. As kids can be a little rough on stuff. So, anyway, there we go with that. Once again, same attachment here on this deal. We put this in, it locks into place, and you're ready to go. If you have to take it off, put it back in the box. Again, just push that button and they slide off. There's real nice spring-loaded contacts there, and we're ready to go. So anyway, I'll go ahead and turn this on. This one's really impressive. I like the Katana. Let's see. I'll open this up. Let's get our power on here. We'll flip the switch, and the monkey flips the switch. There we go. So see if we can get this up and rolling. And there we go. This is a 3-channel, so you can see you got forward, you've got reverse, just like the other, and then you've got your steering here. Really nice proportional steering, and you can see your turn signals. That's cool. Check that out. You got turn signals when you turn the thing. All you got to do is turn the steering wheel, and it throws that on. And then you've got your light control here, provided by this switch. Turn it on. Got your headlights, turn it off. Same thing with the rear lights. It would have been nice if these upper ones lit up. You could probably add that easy enough. Just take it apart and put some lights back there. But you can see you can turn your lights on and off. But check that out. So every time you turn the steering wheel, you get turn signals. Very cool, man. I just think that's the neatest thing. Same thing up front. You know, you turn your wheel, you get your turn signal there. You gotta like that. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. But overall, so you can see what I'm talking about. The detail on these is awesome. The suspension is killer. And just the overall package. You get a lot of fit and finish. And you get a lot of just nice, kind of just a total package that you can transport in. All you have to do is add AA or AAA batteries to this thing to get everything going. So real nice package overall, guys. Just very, very cool. And we'll get it out for you for a demo here soon. We'll get it out. I'll take the kids out and drive it around probably. But nice model overall. Just nice, ready to run package. So I will put this on down here. I'll put the boxes out of the way. And we will get on to the next thing here. Let me see which is the front of this. This goes this way. And we'll put all these containers down because I got so many of these boxes. These are nice, though. Again, you'll keep these things. There's nothing here you're going to throw out. Maybe the outer cardboard, but the actual crate itself is something that you'll definitely want to hang on to. I'll get this Katana back in place, and we'll go with it. So that's back in its boxy Atlas, and we'll put those aside. So let's see. Any questions thus far? I'll take a break here for a second and see if guys have any questions about the cars and stuff. I'll switch cameras back here, and let's see. Let me get the webcam going again, and transition back. All right, guys, we are back in this mode, and we'll probably go back to the other here shortly. So got 50 guys watching. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for coming. And let's see what we got. Any questions, guys, on the cars? How nice these are. These are cool. I don't want to go launching off the table here, so but very cool car overall. They'll drive slow if you want them to, and very neat. Very cool. I love the turn signals. I like the fact that you can control the lights. I mean, it's pretty darn neat that you can do all that with these two things. Here, let me get this stuff out of the way. Let's go backwards just a little bit. You can go slow, you can go fast. Very cool, very cool. So, all right, Pay It Forward is here. And yeah, I'm playing with my cars again. Yeah, look at this thing. I mean, these are awesome. The suspension on these is so neat. I mean, check these out. Very cool. I'm dying to get these out. We'll get them out and we'll drive them around. We may even do it in one video, but very, very cool. 6-wheel drive and your Katana here. 2-wheel drive, very neat. All right, let's see, guys. Any questions here on that stuff? My OMP helicopter came in box like that. Keeps everything secure for transport. Yep. The only thing that's just detracting for me is the brushed motor. I really don't like. Yeah, I'd prefer a brushless, but it keeps the cost down with the brushed, and it looks like it's got enough power. So, yeah, Pay It Forward's here. Great Scott RC, great detail. They look great. Yeah, I'm real impressed with what FMS is. They're coming out with a whole line of cars. So if you guys are interested in cars, they are cool. I mean, the suspension, it just has such a real feel to it, and they've miniaturized everything so nicely with all that detail and all that suspension. And they're not race cars, they're not high-speed models, they're meant for crawling over stuff, but you know, for me, again, that's the beauty of it, having my kids drive them. They're not just hauling, you know, butt down the road or at an air show where they're going to really cause any damage with anything. They can crawl and go over things, and it's again, it's nice for a kid's car. But I tell you, it's the quality and detail and the construction of these is just really awesome. I'm just impressed with. I don't want to sit here and play with these things, but anyway, let's see. We'll do that later. We'll play with the cars later on when we get them going. Let's see. Working on servicing my TrueScale Trunda. You know why they did the auto turn signal? That's from Miller Monster Air. Because most people wouldn't use the turn signal if it was a choice. Yeah, no, honestly, if you're out there crawling in the woods, who's going to turn a turn signal on? I think they just did it for the extra detail of it. You know, they did it. I think they did it just because they could. And, you know, I don't know if you guys can see the turn signals from here, but it's pretty neat. It's cool how they, look at that turn signal. You can see it right there. It's just impressive. I mean, it's just, I think they did it because they could. They're trying to add a little extra level of detail to it, and it's cool. If I keep doing that, guys, I'm gonna drive this off the table. And so anyway, but we'll leave that going for now. Let's see, what's the price on those? You know, check at Horizon Hobby, my link in the description below, and see what they are. If I were to take a guess, I'd say they're like $130 or something. I'm not really sure, but I tell you what, you get a lot for the package. It's a small car, but you get the LiPo with it. You get a charger with it that plugs in. And you get, you know, you get the controller, and you can collapse it all, put it right back in the storage bin. So it's pretty nice. And when we go to events, when we go to air shows and stuff, guys, we're going to have all of these. These cars are going to go with me, especially the week long, like the Joe Knolls, the Cephs, all that kind of stuff. We're going to bring the full gamut of cars, the MB Scaler. So you guys can come out and check all this out when we are out there. So, and please come by. I think it's possible to convert these to brushless. That I have no idea. It would just, you'd have to be probably really good at converting stuff over. So, anyway, guys, I think what we're going to get into now, since I've done enough car stuff, we've talked about that, and these are super, super nice. In fact, I'm going to put this up here. Let those lights just shine. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to put this one on too, just for a little bit of bling in the workshop here. Just make sure I put the cars kind of far away. There we go. Lights are on that baby. We'll put these up here too. These are great vehicles. Like I said, we'll get them out for a demo for everybody to sort of show them off. And you guys will be able to check these out. Very, very cool cars. But what we're going to get on to is I want to get on to the Corsair. I want to talk about that a little bit. So if you guys have Corsair questions, it's Pay It Forward says, Rich, do those trucks are cool? Do they, for the size, do they run in water? Well, they're supposed to run through, you know, a little bit of water. They're semi-water resistant, I guess, the two of these things. So, you know, yeah, it always shows them going through rough terrain over water, and everything's kind of waterproofed or water resistant, like the switches with the boots on them and stuff. So, Keith Christie said, thanks for going the extra mile with the Corsair. Might try the 8S setup. Would really like to use the Avion 80. And yes, you probably can. The 80 is probably enough, but I just, for an extra buffer, I went with, for a little safety margin, I went with the 100 because I had it laying around. And actually, let's talk about that now. Let's get into the Corsair stuff now that we got the cars kind of talked about. And look back, guys, if you want to see a little more detail, I may do a separate video on each of these cars just to put out for everybody so there's a little more, even better detail. Because when I film it and I don't do it live, it's really sharp because I have all high-end 1080p cameras and stuff. So let me put the radio, the NX6. Let's put that. I'm gonna put this up here for right now, and we'll get the controllers out of the way for just a moment, and let's talk about the motors and stuff. So this was basically the stock setup was the 80 amp speed controller. Okay, and this comes out of the airplane so easy. It literally, in fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. We're going to put the airplane up here, and we're going to go with it. So let me see if I can. I didn't really plan this, so I'm just sort of winging this. Let me get my, get my Top Gun hat on. Got my official Top Gun Lakeland 2020 hat here, and let's see if we can kind of just talk about this. This is awesome, folks. Again, these are available Horizon Hobby. Please, if you guys get one, use my links. I'm still testing this out. Okay, we're going to be doing more testing on this. I think it's awesome as an 8-cell airplane. But like I said, after FMS saw the videos I put out, they realized that it might be the propeller was the thing that so they tested a new prop apparently. I hadn't got the results yet, and they're sending me 2 props on this. And I'm assuming it's going to be a prop with even more pitch, so to give it more power on 6 cells. So, but what I'm going to show you all right here, now that we got this right in front of the camera, right there, I think you're going to see, I'm going to show you guys how easy this is to change the speed controller if you ever need to. So I'm going to get right down here. You guys can see me. All right, let's see. I think we still got good audio, but FMS makes the best prop in the business, period. They always have. You can see it has a nut buried in there, the detail on that. It's very tough. They've been using these since the 17mm Warbirds were kind of invented. I already loosened these so I can get to this real easy for everybody. But you can see the prop and nut comes off, and you guys probably saw this in the build guide or in the live show we did. There's a real nice, again, aluminum backplate on there, so it's real tough, this prop. But I think that the new one I'm going to see is probably going to have a little more pitch in it. This is supposed to be an 11, so when we get the new prop, we're going to be testing it for everybody. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And then there's 3 screws, one here, and one here. They're self-tapping. All you have to do is just pull those off, okay? And then once you get this off of here, there's the motor. It just sits right in there. So it's a very easy change out of this thing. And, you know, I pull the front of this off, or pull this out. Your speed controller is sitting right in here. And this is my 120 amp that I showed you in the last video. And you can easily just unplug these 3 wires and just change this motor. This is the stock 300. And then this is the, again, here's the 80 amp. I'll put this up front so you guys can see this. This is the 80 amp controller that I put in here. And then here's the 100. And you can see the difference in the 2 of these. We'll put these right here. I'll put them right up to the screen. Okay, you can see there's really no difference. They're exactly the same size. It's just one's a 100, one's an 80. So this was the original 360 kV motor I put in there with the 100 amp controller, and you can see the 100 amp. This is a brand new motor that we had there when we did the 360 kV demo on it. So so you have a lot of power options with this, with the stock, and then I'm hoping with the stock power setup, they're going to have like a more powerful prop to put on there. And we'll stay tuned, guys. Like I said, hit the notification bell, because as soon as this prop gets in from the factory, we'll put it on. And we're going to test it on the stock setup and see how it works out. And but it's that easy to get into this darn thing. And then again, when I did the 120 amp speed controller and went to 8S, I just plugged it in there. So there's 4 screws here to take this motor out, and then there's 4 screws in the back of the motor that plug in here to the back part of the motor. You guys can see right here. And then you just replace the motor. You pull these 4 screws, put the other motor on. So if you want to change motors, it's really that simple. 3 plugs, 4 screws, or 8 screws, and you can swap the motor easy. ESC, you just unplug the 3 of these. You just route your speed controller in there. This is all drop-in interchangeable parts type stuff, folks. So it's real easy to do all this stuff. So, and you can see back in here, the wires just run right up here. There's probably not going to be a ton of light in there, but all you have to do, this is your speed control wire that runs in there. So you can just stick the wires right through the front of this thing. They go right up through here, and then your speed controller is changed. That's it. It's just so easy to change out everything in this airplane. So the speed controller motors are just very easy to do. So very easy to change out. It's all interchangeable. So eventually, obviously, FMS is probably going to come up with have a standard power system or whatever. The reason I like the 120 amp speed controller on this thing is simply because it provides a lot more power, and you can run 6 or 8 cell on it. Now, it probably drives their production price up a little bit to do all that with this thing, because it's probably a slightly more expensive speed controller than an 80 amp. The 120 is designed to run on, I think it's 3 to excuse me, 3 to 8 cell is what it is. Let me put these things back on here. We'll get this in place. But what I'm hoping they might end up doing is they might leave it stock if we have enough power with the 80 amp speed controller and the new propeller. Or what I'd like to see, in the way that I'm going to keep mine set up, is I'm going to have pretty much just like what you see here. I'm going to have the 120 amp ESC in mine, and I'm hoping the new prop is going to make it really powerful on just 6S. But if you put an 8S, it's going to be really powerful. So, but I'm not sure. I'll test that when the time comes. But for now, stock, the airplane's super nice, probably the nicest Corsair on the market without a doubt. It's just that it needs a bit more power. So the evolution of it was I ran it stock, needed a little more power. All those videos on the channel, it needed a little more power. So I programmed the timing for more timing to give it a little more boost, and that helped a little bit. Then I changed the motor to a 360, put 100 amp in it, and then it was significantly more powerful, much better. And then I put the stock motor back in it, went to the 120 amp speed controller, as you guys saw from the videos, and then put an 8S pack because the battery compartment of this is cavernous, as you guys saw from that video. And now I'm running it on 8S. So now the way it is, with the 120 amp speed controller in it, 8S speed controller, and the 300 kV stock motor in it, I can now run it on 6S, or I can run it on 8S. So however you want to do it. Now I can run it on 6 and 8. 6, it's not as exciting, but the timing is in high in both modes, whether I do 6S or 8S. But I can fly it on both. So I'm hoping with the new prop, it's going to be pretty awesome on 6. So, stay tuned for that. Like I said, if you guys like, subscribe, and then hit that notification bell. As soon as we get it out there, we'll notify you once we've tested it. But totally awesome bird. Check out those videos. It's way cool. It's a very nice model overall. Let's see what we got. Let me see if I got any more questions and things. Let's see. We got 59 guys watching here. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, Keith Christie did say thanks for going the extra mile on the Corsair. Might try 8S setup. Would really like to use the Avion. Yeah. And here's the thing. I ran it in that video. I ran it on 2 4-cell packs, and I also ran it on a single 8S. So you can do both if you have an 8S charger for that. So where's your link for the Katana and Atlas? Dave H. If I hadn't put it below, I'll add it. I'll have to add it here later, or contact me later, and I'll send you the link for it. I do appreciate you using that. But I think that what you can do is you can go to, I have the link below for Horizon Hobby. If you just use that link and you just go to Horizon Hobby through my link, and then just go to the Katana page, I think if you buy it, it's kind of the same thing. I think I still get credit for it, I'm pretty sure. So I do appreciate that for sure. Let's see, Miller Monster, even though I've had terrible luck with brush system, I think the Atlas is pretty neat. Yeah, it's got a neat, 30s, 40s retro style, I think is what it is. Yeah, and it's just neat looking. I'd love to see them do brushless versions too, though. Yeah. Rich, need to take a look at Hamilton's hangar. Yes, I saw that. Corsair, when you get time. He's had an incident. I saw that. It looks like, yeah, I was going to call him up. And he'll probably call me, or we'll exchange, we'll talk back. I've already talked to him a couple times, but not about it. That just happened. So it looks like something maybe came off the airplane, but it kind of went down, and then when it hit the ground, then it caught fire, which could have been speed controller battery or anything really. So let's see. Sean Nichols says hi. Santi Fajardo. Sent Hamilton Hangers a message. Check out today's live session of your show today. Yeah, hopefully he'll even show up. This new Corsair you have, better they got it all worked out. This new Corsair you have, what's he say? I believe they got it all worked out. Yeah. Yeah, I think hopefully we'll get it. Can you run 8S? I knew someone was going to ask this question. Stefan Duke. Hello from France. We got someone from France. We'll have the Rafale out here soon. Let's see. Question. Where did that go? Okay, it just transferred over to, where did that question go? It disappeared. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, I take that back. Roland, Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner. All right, he said, can you run the 8S on a 360 kV motor? I have not tried that yet. That was going to be my next step. And I might do that, but I don't think it needs it. You know, the prop is like a carbon or a plastic composite material. So, you know, I didn't want to boost it too high. I thought that running it on the 360 kV, you know, with the 8S might be too much for the prop and might over amp it even. And in fact, the next step from there, if I was going to try that, what I would do is I would actually put the speed controller in low timing first, just to kind of run it at its lowest state, 8-cell motor with the 360K, or 8-cell power plant with the 360 motor, so I don't quite over boost it. And then if it seems okay there, then go to normal timing and then maybe high or something. But 360 kV motor with the 8S might be a little too much for it, but I don't know. I have to try it. So, but honestly, I just didn't want to push it that hard. So, Stephanie or Stefan Duke from France. I cannot read his French writing there. RCI, how you doing, Rich? Doing good. Dave H, your FMS Corsair series inspired me to and a mate to consider a pair of formation flying, but then we saw you and Wes, Mary Boozer, flying formation with the FMS F7 Tiger Cats, and we switched. No, fair enough, man. You know, I love the Corsair. It's a really nice, I mean, it's probably, again, the nicest Corsair out there, I think. But I've always told everybody, if I could have only one airplane, it would be the F7F, the FMS F7F. So yeah, if you got that, you and your buddy just bought the finest foam warbird available. So real nice, super nice model. I love the F7F. Henry L, 161947 says, question when you get a chance. Go ahead, fire it at me. I'm reading the log here right now. So yeah, Henry L, fire it away, and I'll talk with you, or I'll answer your question. You still got the RocHobby 64mm f/16? Yes, I do actually. I got mine a few years back after you did your video, and it's still one I really like. Yeah, it's a nice model, especially the new one. If you got the new one with the 12-blade fan, it's much nicer. And yeah, you can hand launch. That's one of those F/16s that you can do a little more hand launch type because it's not that heavy an airplane. Henry L says, the FMS 810, do you recommend a flap elevator mix? Manual says nothing. You know what? Hang on a second. Let me see in my radio here. Okay, this is my my DX9. Let me see what I got. Let me go right to, hang on a second. Let me see if I can get to that thing in here. Let me look and see if I got it. Okay, I do have one of my FMS 810s in here. I got one on each of my radios, so let's see what we got. Elevator to flap. Hang on a sec. Let's go see what I have. Flap system. Apparently, yes, I do. In fact, here's what I'll do for you. Let me, if you want to see it, I'll throw it in there. Okay, we just had Vincent Areta says, hi, my boy. Do they go fast? I'm not sure what he's talking about. But here, let me get to, let me switch cameras real fast. Do a quick change here. See if this is all still working. There we go. And I will show you right up front here what my flap system on the 810 looks like. So yes, you can see there. For full flaps, I have landing flaps or full flaps. You don't have to worry too much about the flap position there, the 89% and the -16, because you'll set it where you need to. But full flaps goes all the way down to the nacelle, as far as it'll go without binding the servo. And you can see there the elevator mixing I have in there. Lost the light there. It goes to 12%. So you can see I have 12% mixing for elevator to flap at full flaps. And again, it goes all the way to the nacelle. And then you can see my mid-flap setting there is 5%. So, and that's about halfway, like 10 to 15 degrees of flaps roughly. So if you use 5%, and use 12%, kind of like I have here. Those were pretty good settings for me. That's what I've been flying my my A10 on. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that helps you out. And give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. So anyway, yeah, hopefully that'll help you out. Let me switch back to my other camera. So let me transition. So there we go. So that's it, guys. Live mixing. Let me go back out of there. Very cool. DX9, got to have one. That's pretty much what I primarily fly everything on. I got a link in the description for the DX9. There's also the NX series, which we'll talk about here too. We can probably just even segue that into the NXs, and we'll talk a little about that here. So the NX is like the latest generation of radio. This is going to be, the cool thing about this NS6 is that it actually has, this NS6 is really a 7-channel radio. So, because it has a 7th channel, so you can use it with all the safe airplanes, all the ones that have, what is it, AS3X and SAFE. So it's really a 7-channel. It's really meant for all of those models, all the bind and fly models, really. So 6-channel, now you can get away with flying everything on this 6, which is cool. Let's see. So Henry L, the FMS, do you recommend? Yeah, flap to elevator mount system. Okay, yeah. Henry, you try the one at 12. Where was that thing? I'm trying to read this. Can you try the one at 12S in the Corsair? Yeah, 12S in the Corsair might be a bit much, you know. So yeah. Again, you don't want to spin the prop on this thing too fast. The calculated, you know, if you do the mathematics, like so, I took 300 kV. And I multiplied it by 33.6 volts, which is the, you know, what an 8-cell is. And we came to 10,000 RPM. Again, that's mathematical. So, you know, when you run this thing in the stock configuration, which is a 300 kV motor on 25 volts, I think is what I calculated at, you had something like 7,500 RPM. So by going up, we went from 7,500 mathematical RPM up to a 10,000, a little over 10. Now, I don't think it's turning quite that fast, but I don't know if I really want to spin this prop that much faster. It seemed to handle what I did with it fine, so something tells me it's probably turning at more like 9,000 or something, and as it goes faster, as the plane moves quicker through the air, as it unloads, the prop begins to spin faster. So you only want to, you get to the point where you spin a prop too fast, and it will come apart. There's always a point where it will come apart. So and I may try that for you guys. If mine comes apart, oh well, it comes apart. But we may test it on the 360 kV. I just didn't want to push it right away. And for now, since I got the new prop coming, I really want to test the new prop on 6-cell for everybody, because you never know. We may have a 6-cell solution now with the new prop coming. So, and we'll get that out right away. So, let's see. Henry L also says negative flap. I assume so much. And yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when you drop the flaps on the A10, I believe it pitches up. If I'm not mistaken, it balloons up. So yeah, it's a negative elevator. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, because you want to keep that from ballooning, and that's I'm pretty sure the elevator kind of comes down. So let's see. Henry L says, I also have a Freewing Corsair Great Flyer. Yeah, I have a Freewing Corsair also. Real nice airplane. Yeah, definitely awesome. They're both very actually similar. And that was one of the reasons actually looking at the Flightline Corsair, which I've got a lot of videos on the channel, guys. So check out the Flightline Corsair on there as well. That was one of the drivers for me making this an 8-cell plane, not to really, like, I don't know, beat it out or do whatever. But the point is that that's a smaller airplane. It's 1,600 millimeters. And, you know, it's running on a 6-cell power plant. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is bigger, quite a bit bigger. I mean, it's 1,700 millimeters, but the overall mass of it is a bigger airplane. So I figured, all right, well, if it's bigger, it probably needs more power, right? And since it was flying, you know, not as like I wanted it to, you know, on the 6S, I said, man, there's a huge battery compartment. FMS already put basically an 8-cell battery compartment in this airplane. So they don't need to change, you don't need to change anything with that. It'll take 8 cells of battery. So, so I figured let's make it 8-cell. So, and you could probably do that with the Flightline too. If you want to stick an 8-cell power plant there, you probably could. But you know, you're adding weight, smaller airplane, that kind of thing. So, same thing with the Tiger Cats. Like Flightline makes the 1,600 millimeter Tiger Cat. It's meant to run on 4S. So, and then FMS makes the, the 1700 millimeter that I have up here. It's bigger, but it's a 6L airplane. So, bigger airplane, more cells, it kind of makes sense. So this always flew well, the original, for me on 6S. I put the 360 kV motor and it flew better, the original. But I never thought I'd need to change it to 6 or to 8, I mean. So this one, like I said, it flew a little sluggish and it flew, but and that's when I said, let's put 8 in it. And man, 8 changes the whole airplane. So, but again, I got a new prop coming from the factory. So I'm assuming it's something with more pitch in it. So once I get that, I'm going to be testing this back on its 6S again, and I'll put it on the load meter. I got a load meter, an amp meter, watt meter here somewhere to test all this out. It's a 200 amp. So I'll be putting this on the watt meter at 6S with the new prop as well. So stay tuned, guys. Like I said, hit the notification bell, because as soon as it comes in, we're doing that test for everybody and get it going and see how it is. Let's see, the yellow panel of the props looks like it's coming off. Yeah, that happens with props, guys. I actually hit the grass with mine once or twice the other day too. So, but all my Tiger Cat props, everything with a painted tip, it starts coming off. The more you fly it, whether you hit the ground or not, this plastic, sometimes the paint doesn't bond to it all that well, but over time, and if you look at real full-scale airplanes with yellow tips, yeah, the paint does chip off. So it kind of gives it that worn look, that natural worn look, because props also flex. The plastic flexes a bit, but the paint doesn't so much. So especially the tips are moving so fast. But yeah, you'll get some paint. This is now a used airplane, folks. I've got maybe a dozen, maybe 14 flights on this airplane now. So, and as you fly it, the paint starts coming off the prop tips for sure, whether you touch the grass or ground with it or not. So, yeah, that's normal though, Douglas. You will have, and that's sort of again, that kind of naturally weathers the airplane. It makes it look more real as you use the prop. In fact, I got dirty. I got bug strikes all over this, and there's a few pits. You'll see pitting in the leading edge of your prop blades. That's normal. That's what real full-scale airplanes do that. That's why full-scale airplanes usually have like a metal or a nickel leading edge sheath, so it doesn't bite into either the composite or the wood or whatever that they're made out of. So that's normal to have chipping at of the paint off of the prop tips. So just from normal flying. So let's see. Henry L said, "Do enjoy your channel a lot. Great information videos." Henry, thank you very much. Keith Christie, freewing pop looks like an FMS prop. Yes, you are correct about that. And in fact, the evolution of the whole free wing and FMS airplanes on this is, FMS was the first one to make a Corsair, big Corsair, 1700 version 1, and then they made a 2, and this is the 3. And their prop was always the best manufactured one. I think they had some issues in the beginning where the molding process, prop blades were breaking, and that was the early kind of run of them. So, but Motion RC sold this airplane. I made their videos, 350,000 hits on the video. So we had the most video of any watched Motion RC about 2 years ago on Motion RC until they came out with their new Corsair. Once they came out with their new Corsair, they pulled all the videos for the FMS plane, which is fine. I mean, they're selling their own plane, and they started promoting all their own planes. So I will say this, a lot of the Flightline Corsair came from the FMS design, and then Flightline added some things to it to make it better. They did go backwards on a few things, I think. Like, they didn't put tail doors on the thing. Like, for example, this thing has really nice, as you can see, tail wheel doors that open and close, where Free Wing left that out. That was a detail. Their model's big enough. I wish they had put tail wheel doors. It just really, so that was one thing I didn't like. And then FMS went a step further, even on the tail, and you can see they put 2 elevator servos back there. Like, instead of let me get this straight. Instead of having a single servo like the old plane had, the original FMS Corsair, single servo up in the cockpit area with 2 push rods going all the way back, they put the servos in the tail. Now you got redundancy too. You got 2 elevator servos, so really nice. And that's something Flightline didn't do, which maybe they should have, but whatever. Their plane flies fine. It doesn't need it. It's good, but I prefer the 2 servos back here. But the bottom line is the evolution of the Corsair, the foam Corsairs, is FMS made theirs first. Motion RC put their airplane out, which is a beautiful plane, took a lot from it. And I think even this FMS airplane, just to get into truths with you, even this FMS airplane has some features from the FMS plane. So they have both kind of taken from each other and just sort of improved the models, you know, over time. Both are good options. Both airplanes are very good. In fact, I might do a shootout or a comparison video of the two planes because I have them both. And I'll talk about the pluses and minuses of both, what I like about one, what I don't like about the other. So I'm probably going to do a comparison on those because they're both really great airplanes. But you know, more of a kind of a buyer's guide as to what you're looking for, what you're, you know, what you prefer in the airplane. So anyway, I've always liked the big size of this. I've always loved the propeller because they managed to make a propeller where you don't see any screws, you don't see anything. Where the Flightline, they tried to duplicate that, and they did a good job with it, but you can kind of see the screws a little bit. There's a comparison of the two. In fact, here, Flightline did, in fact, I'll walk over here. Flightline made a real nice 3-blade prop with theirs. And here, let me pull this off of here. And, oops, drop that. You see the difference here in the two props? That's what they look like. This is the Flightline. And it's a real nice prop, but it's a 3-blade. They did a 3-blade instead of a 4-blade on theirs. So, but you can see the screws. I kind of wish they could have done it where you couldn't see the screws. FMS has done theirs so you can't see them. They're all internal. They did, there's 2 layers of screws in there. So, and in fact, you can see they're right in here. So I prefer the FMS design. They're both really good. And you can see the aluminum plate, you know. That's kind of, you know, they kind of ball copy each other the way they do it, I think. But both are awesome. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. In fact, these props are just about interchangeable, except for the prop drive, because the whole of the hex is a little different on both. So, but anyway, let me throw that back on. Let me put my prop nut back on there, and so I don't lose that. So anyway, a little history between the two of these, though. Like I said, FMS came out with theirs first. They've had it a long time. Oh, I just dropped my my microphone thing there. Flightline came out with theirs. Theirs is super nice. I mean, it's awesome on 6S. And then FMS improved theirs and made it even better. So you know, you won't go wrong with either one, that's for sure. So they're both real nice. So back to back on the Corsair, brilliant, Dave H. Yes, I'll probably do a comparison video of both of them. So I've wanted to do that for a long time, but you know, sometimes I don't do it. But these two, I think, are going to be good comparisons. I think they'll be a good. So I'll do a video of that probably here as time goes on here. Let's see, Roland, Hellis, Thompson. Let's see, 3-blade master air screw. What is it? What does it say? Have you tried a 1-piece 3-blade master air screw prop on this or other 17? No, I haven't, because it's hard to make it fit. This one has a hex drive, and that just has a straight shaft hole that goes on. So there's really, you'd have to do something wicked to make it fit on the drive. I mean, you could come up with a way to do it, but it's kind of too much fabrication to make it fit. Walter Petrick, good afternoon from Munich. Got a guy from Munich. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate that. My question, Ranger 1800 millimeter or PA-18 for grass ops? Ooh, that is a tough call. Depending on how tall your grass is, I would say that the PA-18 has bigger wheels. It's got Tundra tire wheels. So for sure, if you've got some tall grass, rough terrain, PA-18 all the way for rough grass, rough terrain. And they're both real aerobatic. I mean, you won't go wrong with either one. Both of them, you can put them on floats. The way that they fly, though, I probably slightly prefer the Ranger 1800 millimeter. I think it's just a little bigger. I think it's slightly more aerobatic, even though they're all aerobatic. But I prefer the Ranger. But if grass is an issue or rough terrain, you really can't beat the Tundra tires, those big tires that the PA-18 has. So that's how I go with that. But both are awesome. I mean, the Ranger will handle rough terrain and rough grass. It's just that, but the wheels are good size, but they are not the Tundra. They're big enough for stuff for rough terrain. But they're not. In fact, do I have those up here? I thought I might have had them hanging up here. But they're not the big balloon tires, you know, the big Tundra tires that the PA-18 has. So if that's the issue, then I'd go with the PA-18 if terrain is really what's important. So Do a shootout between do the shootout between the two because I'm gonna buy a Corsair. Yeah, I'll see if I can do it here soon. Hi, Rich. Fantastic Corsair. Why is there not a foam plane on the market with a hard layer on the outside to protect against dents? Would be great. Greetings from Netherlands. Lewis H. Yeah, Netherlands. Thanks for coming. Actually, there are some in certain instances, like the Fox glider, which, shoot, I wish I had the wing for that. Not the Fox glider. The new FMS ASW17. If you check out my channel, I've got videos of that. The leading edge of the wing is all plastic. And then when you look at certain airplanes like the Horizon Hobby Blue Angels, F-18 Hornet, the leading edge extensions are all plastic there. FMS also has one of their planes with leading edge extensions. I'm trying to remember. But some of these planes are having leading edge extensions and starting to make the leading edge of the wings that are plastic sheaths. It's expensive. Here's the thing. Dave's RC. Dave's in the house. Glad to see you, Dave. Thanks for coming. Guys, check out Dave's RC channel. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of giveaways there he's doing, so check out Dave's channel. Plastic parts, folks, are expensive. So, again, the question was, yeah, why is there not a foam plane on the market that has a hard layer on the outside to protect dents? Yeah. Plastic parts are super expensive to mold. Like making a mold for a large foam model is expensive. I mean, especially the larger the part, more expensive it is. Making molds for plastic injection molded parts are really expensive. So that's why they try to keep plastic parts to a minimum on foam airplanes, because it just raises their costs big time. So, but again, the ASW17 glider from FMS, the Horizon Hobby FA-18 Blue Angels airplane, all leading edge extensions and leading edges of the wings have plastic on them. Those are expensive to make, but man, you can't ding them. That's a beauty. I wish they would put more plastic. Also, the more plastic you put on there, the heavier the airplane gets too. I mean, it just gets heavier and heavier. So you want to they want to use plastic where it's needed and not use it where it's not needed. I'd like to have it around leading and trailing edges as much as we can, but again, it gets expensive. There's more parts. It gets heavier, that kind of thing. Dave's RC, you're welcome. Let's see, AirVex, considering the 1.2 EFL or 1.4 meter FMS Corsairs, which is the best aerobatically and overall going to be flying off grass? The E-flite or the FMS? It's hard to say. I actually have never had the 1400 millimeter FMS Corsair. That's one of the 14s I haven't actually flown. But I will say this, if you're going to fly off grass, always, in most cases, the bigger the airplane you have, the better off of grass, because that just means normally that the wheels are bigger. So the bigger the wheel you have, the more terrain it can handle. So sometimes 1200 millimeter airplanes with smaller wheels off of grass, rocks, terrain, whatever you're flying off of, sometimes those little wheels don't roll as well, and especially with a tail dragger, they tend to nose over more. So consider that. I would always go with a bigger airplane with bigger wheels if you're going to be flying off, rough grass, terrain, that kind of stuff. So Dave's RC, that's cool. I didn't know that they were using plastic leading edges. Yeah, on some things, Dave, something. Not a lot, not too many, but again, the FMS ASW17 glider, the new 2.5 meter glider, leading edge goes the entire, plastic leading edge goes the entire length of the wing. And it's awesome. You'll never ding those leading edges as long as you're not running them into like metal poles and stuff like that. So, but they have a very nice, and they intended that so because gliders, a lot of times you got to land them in taller grass or areas and that way you don't ding the leading edges with, tall brush and stuff like that. So, yeah, it'd be nice if they do that more on more airplanes in certain areas and stuff. So, all right, guys, we got 69 people watching. I do appreciate everybody coming here. All right, let's get on to a couple things. Let me put the Corsair away, and if you guys got more questions, just throw them out there. I'm trying to fit a lot into this video. Probably trying to cram, like too much into it, but oh well, more the merrier here. So let me put this down on the stand. There's my TopGun hat. Let's see. We'll put that right there and get that to not fall. Let me get a small drink here, guys. See if I got Dave's RC says that's exceptional. Yeah. Having leading edges and parts, plastic parts, where the planes ding, if you can have that on there, it just definitely saves the airplane a lot. So let's go into a couple things I want to talk a little bit about real quick. Let's go into this NS6 just a little bit. Again, I'm probably going to do a more thorough review of this thing later, but just a few things that I want to go into on it, and I'll go back to my other cam so you guys can kind of see what that baby looks like. It's a very cool radio, guys. It's the controllers and all the all of the sticks are real nice. Probably one thing it's missing is that it does not have a knob. Some of the, like, there's an NX6, an 8, and a 10. I always tell everybody, buy as much radio, okay, as you can buy. In other words, if you get a 6 and then later you're like, oh man, I needed like 8 channels to fly that other thing because it's got speed brakes, or you're gonna say, man, I should have bought the 8. So if you can afford an 8, get an 8. If you can afford a 10, get a 10. Get as much radio. If you think you're going to stay in RC, get as much radio as you can right off the bat, okay? Because you'll be glad you did later if you stay in the hobby, just because you won't be limited later on. So now this thing has a lot of cool features. It's got this cool, really nice folding antenna, so it makes storing it easier. You can put it in like a backpack or something smaller easier, and then it folds out here. It's got some real nice features in the back of this thing. Like, for example, it has USB for charging. And when you get into the NX8 and actually I think the 10, they have a magnetic, I might even be an adapter that goes under, and there's just a magnetic cable you stick on there and charge. And then, you've got this thing right here, this serial port. And the serial port is for like all kinds of other connectivity and stuff. I think it's you can do other things with it. I'm not really sure exactly what you use it for. I'm trying to remember. I'm looking at my note sheet actually here. But you can plug that into other things. I know that the FPV guys use this for maybe even cameras or stability or something. And then there's an audio jack in there as well. So. But this thing gives you real-time telemetry. It is 7 channels, so the 7-channel portion of it, let me go ahead and turn it on. There's a single button right here that lights up, and you press that, and you'll see it come on, and it has a real nice display. There it is, and you can change the color of the display, and you can see how nice that is. It's basically similar to the old one. I mean, it does, functionality-wise, it's pretty much the same, but it now has a brighter screen. You can change colors and just kind of get through it easier. Real-time telemetry, and you can also plug this in and use this with your flight simulators too, several different flight simulators. So let's see, what else? And it has wireless trainer, all that kind of stuff on it. So a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick. I'm going to kind of take the box and show you 1 or 2 items. The stock battery that this thing comes with, and I'm going to pull this, see if I can pull this out of here. The stock battery that this thing comes with is a little smaller, and you can see what it looks like. It actually comes like this. It's a 2000 milliamp. It's a single battery. You can see right here. It's a single lithium pack, and it goes into this little sleeve, and this is what's in the back of the radio. It just kind of fits in like this. But what I ended up putting in there, and it comes with a charge cable as well. What I ended up putting in there, which you can do, you can retrofit this, is it comes with, and I'll pull this, you can put in a larger battery pack up to 6,000 milliamp, you can see right here. So pretty sharp. I mean, it's a nice big pack, and you charge it via, the USB port right here. So a lot of versatility. Again, it comes with a smaller pack, which is, I think 2,000 is probably enough. It's only a single cell, but let me see if I can get that on. Let me walk around here just a bit. Let me get around the other side of my desk. I'm working on my camera mounts, guys. I've got a lot of different ways that I'm going to kind of do this for everybody in the future. So I'm right now testing a whole bunch of different ways of doing this. So, and this is my one mount that I just misplaced on. That's what I'm looking for right there. looking for my glasses here, but I'm working on different mounts for everybody and different camera options. And again, this is a new camera, so. But you can see it looks pretty much the same as the others. It's just it's a brighter screen. Mixing and everything's the same, but it's a nicer, much nicer screen. You can go into system setup. Sure, you want to turn off the RF. It's just a much brighter screen, so you can go into model select, type, mode, channel assign. So the menus are pretty much the same. It's just that now it has, it's just in a nicer package. It's a little more capable and so forth. It's Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. So, and again, the biggest beauty of the NX6 is for relatively low cost. You can fly all of the bind and fly models off of this radio. You don't need, again, the one thing I like to have on my radios is a knob here so I can turn, program my nose gear steering. But if you have AS3X, you don't need it. It's just not required. It's not something that, because the AS3X helps you steer on the runway when the two are Y harnessed together, your nose wheel and your rudder. It's your landing gear switch, 3-position switch, and again, although it says NX6, it's really a 7-channel radio because you can assign a 3-position or 2-position switch, I believe, to your stabilization mode. So really cool. You've got a micro SD card slot underneath for all your model memories and swapping and trading, bringing back, bringing memories or programs or files from one radio to the other. So pretty cool. But overall, nice radio, nice rubber grips and everything. So I'll be getting this in some new airplanes here coming up. And the next bind and fly, probably I'm going to bind this to it and fly with it. So, and we'll talk about how it functions and everything. So switches have a real nice feel to them overall. And yeah, very nice. There's your flap switch. So everything you would want to do with an airplane, you can now do relatively inexpensively. And you can get into now all of the bind and fly models without actually having to go into the cost of a 9 or 10 channel radio. You can do it all with this, which is just pretty nice for more entry-level folks. But again, I do recommend if you can afford 8, if you're going to stay in the hobby, if you can afford 8 or 10 channels, get more channels always. But if you can't, just know that this is really a 7-channel radio that you guys can, fly any of the bind and fly models off of and still be able to, to assign, be able to assign. It's got the voice and all that. You can, and you'll still be able to assign your safe mode, your safe or your AS3X mode. You can adjust your gyro from the radio. So awesome that they made this 7-channel. They probably just could have called it an NX7, but anyway, that's above my pay grade. Yeah, real nice radio. I want to see if you guys got any questions. I'm back to looking at the screen again here. I'll go back out of this mode and back to front ways now here. Let's see what we got. Nowadays, the foam's very strong and resilient. Henry says better than wood. Almost, yeah. I mean, it's gotten real good. Let's see. Let's see. I got some more messages here from guys. Let's see. Dave's RC says, hang on. Mike Bird, NX10 has better gimbals. Yes, it does. I think it has the Hall effect gimbal sensors or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot more. I mean, that's a slightly nicer. It's also more expensive too. So, but like I said, if you guys can get an NX10 or an 8, yeah. Here, Mike Bird said Hall effect. Yeah, that's what they are. Love your channel, full of great info. That's Aiden Macatamney. Yeah, that's what my channel's all about. It's really about information. It's not a sales channel. There's a lot of sales channels out there. Yes, I do help promote a little bit, and if you guys purchase something to use my link, yes, it supports my channel. I do appreciate that, but it doesn't cost you guys a dime, and I do appreciate you guys backing up my channel because me and Steve and even my first cameraman, Pete, we've tried to keep everything here informational. We're keeping it free. We got guys asking for money. I'm not. I want to keep my channel free and, just make it about information for you guys. So when I come on here, I try to have a lot to talk about and discuss things where you guys can ask questions and stuff. And we'll talk about this reflex gyro in a bit. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. Definitely thank you guys for coming and watching. So I'm trying to keep Aiden. I'm trying to keep everything, as informational as I can. So just because I love doing this stuff. It's fun. Dave H says NX radio, narrow stick ends are okay for pinchers, but far too small for thumb guys. All right, that's a good comment to make because I don't do thumbs. Let's see. I think they seem to be thick enough. I don't fly thumbs, so I guess I'm not the guy to comment on it. But what he's talking about is some guys fly with just thumbs. You know, they have their thumbs on the radio. They fly like this, and you know that's if it use whatever works for you. I fly with 2 fingers like this. Okay, just because I have a little more like I have more sensation or more feeling with 2 fingers when I'm doing that. And I feel like I can more precisely, you know, control things with it. And you guys try both ways if you haven't done it and see what you like. I mean, typically when I'm using a hobby knife, I don't have like a thumb on my knife using it. I have 2 fingers or even 3 fingers. And, you know, you get a little bit more, maybe you call it surgical precision out of using several fingers. You could do more finely detailed work. So when I'm using my radio, I have found, and again, this is personal preference, but for years, that's all I've ever done is use both fingers, you know, to fly the airplane, because you just have a more, for me, I just have a more precise feel, you know, when I'm flying the plane. So, but use what works for you, you know, whatever you like. But man, it seems grippy enough for me. I don't do thumbs, but that's why you got all these points on here, is so it grips your finger and it doesn't slide on your thumbs if you're a thumb flyer. So, but okay, good note to make. We'll see. We'll turn this thing off here. Let me hold that down for a second, and it'll power down. So that's the Spektrum NX series. The NX series is taking over, guys. So if you guys get something, you know, consider the NX. So Lewis H, thanks for the clear answer on my hard layer question. Appreciate this. The quality of your live stream is excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Always going for quality. Quality is everything, guys. That's the way I look at it. Quality is better than quantity, I think. Let's see. Fishy9000 says, hi, pay it forward RC. Those new NX radios, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you will be able to download file setups from bind and fly planes directly to the NX radio. Yes, that's correct. So you'll be able to get files to download straight to this thing. So yeah, that's another nice thing. And the thing is it is Wi-Fi, and that's kind of how you do it, I guess, is through Wi-Fi. I hadn't messed enough with it to know. And the next bind and fly radio, guys, that comes in, I'll start using the NX6 on it because I just got it. It just came in. Like I said, I was so busy with TopGun last week that I just didn't have the time to. It's been busy the last week. So pinch or thumb is relative to hand size. That's true. So, that's Just Fly says that. So yeah, you know, again, whether you're using your thumbs or whether you're using your fingers, use what works best for you. Try both. See what works. So. Do you have a recommendation for a first warbird? Dean Sharp says that. Man, there's so many good ones out there. And when you say first warbird, what I think to myself is, when you say first warbird, do you mean warbird or do you mean conventional gear airplane, meaning with a tail wheel, a tail dragger? Because you have foam warbirds like the CJ-6 here. Okay, you have foam warbirds like the T28. FMS makes a nice T28, and you know, Horizon Hobby makes the Carbon Z T28. That's just awesome. But they are tricycle landing gear, as you can kind of see here. So tricycle landing gear makes this plane, warbird or not, like just as easy to fly as, you know, anything else with tricycle gear, you know. So are you talking about just a warbird? Because if you're going to get a first warbird, get something with tricycle landing gear. Get something like this CJ-6. Get something like a T28. But the thing is that it's not really, I would say, anything with tricycle gear is not a warbird in the true sense that just sort of that because we think of warbirds as tail draggers, you know, something that sits down on its tail, because that's where when you're taking off and you lift that tail wheel off the ground, you're now staying on that rudder, and it's more challenging because of P factor, torque, gyroscopic precession and spiraling slipstream. You have all those left turning tendencies that make flying a tail dragger warbird like harder or more challenging. So throw that out me, Dean, just real quick. When you say first warbird, what is it that you're looking for? Do you want a war type plane? And it doesn't matter whether it's tricycle or tail wheel, or if you're looking for a tail wheel, tail dragger type airplane where it gets a little more challenging, you know, to take off and land. So throw that out at me. Let me know what you're talking about. Because, you know, if you want an easier to fly airplane, really any warbird that you guys get that's tricycle gear like this or a T-28, it's going to be relatively easy to fly. Hamilton's Hangar says, sweet plane. Hey, Shay, we'll talk later about your Corsair. I saw the video this morning. I was going to call you, but I got busy. So give me a ring whenever, and we'll talk about it because I got a couple of suggestions, ideas, and we can talk about some of that stuff a little bit. Again, for Dean there, man, you know, any tricycle gear warbird you get like this with a nose gear, main gear, it's going to be way easier to fly. It's a good way to start with a warbird. But you're not really, again, flying a traditional warbird in the sense that it's not a tail dragger. You don't get into those left turning tendencies. It doesn't get more challenging. So, and you can go with almost anything. So for that, and again, there's a lot of good ones out there. There's this one here, which I'm going to get videos out here soon. This is the P-51 Mustang. That's actually a good. That actually is a good first warbird. If you could take off and you can land with another airplane and fly it well with tricycle gear, your next step from tricycle gear is going to a tail dragger. So let me see if I can put this down someplace here. Let me put it. Let me shift a little bit of this. I'm going to drop everything here. So. Are you looking for a tail dragger, or what do you think? Let's see. Let me see where I kind of lost track here. Let me see. I lost track. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Deem Sharp. Let's see. Let's see. When I'm flying scale, do I pinch method? I do a 3D. Yeah, okay, got. That's familiar. Much here. Airvex, you can get aluminum thumb extensions from Amazon for $10 in so many colors. Just replace them; they screw off. Yeah, Airvex says like at Amazon, you can buy aluminum extensions for your sticks, thumb extensions that make it a little easier to fly, or a little grippier. So, and Miller Monster Air also says first my warbird is the T-28. Yes, and like I said, the CJ-6, anything is tricycle gear, but. Rich, did you happen to get a chance to see the Hangar 9 OV-10 fly? Yes, I saw it fly. I was going to shoot some video of it, but I was so busy I didn't get it. It's a very cool airplane, but it's expensive. I don't know. Remember, the kit itself is like $1,000 or $1,500. Then you put the motors in. Awesome airplane. So, but it's some coin. I mean, but it's going to fly nice. It flew fantastic when we saw it there. So, Pay It Forward says T-28, good first warbird. Yep. Mike Bird says definitely tricycle gear if first. Yes. But here's the thing, once again, for Dean. Dean says tail dragger. He just I got that a little late, a little lag on the thing. Not your fault, but it's just this is a lag thing. But he says tail dragger. So if you want to go from tricycle gear that you're flying, okay, if you go from a tricycle gear airplane like something like a Cessna, and then you go to a T-28 or you go to something like this that's a warbird but tricycle gear, you're not really making much of a change because it flies just as good almost. It's just it's low wing instead of high wing and tricycle gear. Tail dragger wise, yes, though, you've got a ton of options. So I would recommend, I mean, there's a lot of different airplanes. Again, even this P-51 is a good tricycle because you have to make the jump from again, tricycle gear to tail dragger type airplane. So what I would almost recommend doing, if you can, is for your first tail dragger type airplane, if you can even borrow one from somebody, get something like, you know, I'm trying to come up with an example, like an FMS Kingfisher, which is not a warbird, but it's a tail dragger airplane, but it's a little easier to fly that tail dragger than it is to fly a warbird type tail dragger. So you could get something like a Piper Cub that, like FMS makes a good Piper Cub too. You could get any of the 1200 millimeter series planes, although I would recommend something bigger. I'd go 14. I would recommend a slightly larger airplane. I would do something, actually, now let me retract that a little bit. I would go like with something that's 1400 millimeter and pick something that's good. Any P-51, like FMS makes a 1400 millimeter P-51, that would be a good plane to start with. The Corsair that they make would be a good one to start with. The P-40 Flying Tiger that FMS makes, the tail dragger, is a very easy airplane to fly, but it is a tail dragger. Tail draggers get harder to fly the more powerful they are if you're applying too much power when you're taking off. Almost any of the warbirds I mentioned, like the FMS 1400 millimeter Mustang, even the 1500 millimeter P-47 Thunderbolt, the P-40 Flying Tiger, any of those airplanes that are tail dragger type warbirds, you can start with all of those, but you're going to make it easier on yourself if you advance the throttle slowly and take off, and then then you don't need so much rudder to take off because it's all technique. So as long as you can take off and land right now with another airplane and you're flying it around fine on your own, and it's a tricycle gear airplane, you can make the leap to almost any tail dragger warbird you want to nowadays. So now actually, let me ask you this. Did you have a few in mind that you were looking at getting? You know, if you do, throw them up here, because let me look at what you're thinking of getting, and I can tell you whether or not I think it's good to start with. But for your first, here's what I will say. For your first tail dragger warbird, real warbird that you want to get, I would recommend getting something, if you can, that's a little larger rather than something that's smaller. Because even though 1200 millimeter warbirds fly well, when you go to 1400 millimeter and even 1700 millimeter like this, they get a little more docile. They're a little easier to fly. They're not as snappy. They're not as twitchy as a smaller plane. So whatever you get for your warbird, your first warbird, again, as long as you can take off and land, get yourself a P-51 FMS. Get yourself an FMS P-40 Flying Tiger. Get one of those, you know. But try to get something that's 1400 millimeter if you can. 1500, even like this. And then have somebody who's experienced with tail draggers, like kind of sit next to you when you're flying, stand next to you when you're flying it, you know, and you just have to learn those takeoff tendencies, the left turning tendencies and stuff. So let's see. Hamilton says, sweet plane, tail dragger, Dean. Let's see. Let me see. It's going to depend on the, Miller Monster also says, Dean Sharp, it's gonna depend on your level of experience and skill. Yes, that's true. Oh, we got 77 watchers, guys. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate you all coming by. Hamilton's Hanger says, congrats on 20,000. And again, yeah, let's talk about that Corsair a little bit. I want to actually pick your brain about it, because I feed that back to the factory a bit. You know what happened there with your Corsair. Let's see. F7F Tiger Cat, definitely a warbird. That's trike. Yeah. So like Dave H, for example, you know, flying something like the FMS F7F Tiger Cat, although it is an awesome warbird and it's just fantastic to fly, it is actually way easier flying an F7F Tiger Cat than it is flying a Mustang, a Bearcat, a P-40, a Corsair, any of that, because it's not a tail dragger. In fact, what I'll tell you too is that Colonel, or was it Major or Captain Trapnell or whatever, he was the chief Navy like test pilot. He was the guy that approved the production of airplanes. He approved the production of the Hellcat, which became the most successful like Pacific theater fighter in World War II. And he flew a Tiger Cat and for his like daily flying plane to go back and forth from places. And even though he bashed on it, he told the guy who was the program manager of it or whatever, he said, hey, look, he goes, as far as flying it goes, it's the best damn fighter I've ever flown. And he said largely, one of the points he made is that it was very easy to train pilots to fly it because it's not a tail dragger. So even though it's got two engines and it's got tons of power, as long as everything's working, taking off with a tricycle gear Tiger Cat, you know, buying an F7F Tiger Cat like an FMS or a Flightline or something, you're going to find that's a really easy airplane to fly. But you're not going to get the tail dragger experience out of it. You're not going to learn those left-turning tendencies, how it is flying a tail dragger. So you'll have an awesome airplane, but it's easier than flying something that's a tail dragger. So hopefully that kind of answers your question on that. Hamilton says, okay, thanks, Rich. Yeah, we'll talk later. Can you answer the question for both? I'm not sure what he's asking about that. Can you answer the question for both? That P51 was my first warbird, absolutely perfect. I guess you're talking about the FMS P51. So yeah, like I said, for Dean Sharp that's out there, let me know if you can. Type up here what you're looking. Oh, here, I've been flying a Carbon Cub. Okay, you've been flying a Carbon Cub. Okay. All right, well, heck, man, if you've flown the Carbon Cub, that's a tail dragger. That's perfect. You've been flying. You can go to almost any warbird you want to go to. You could get yourself this big, you know, FMS 1700 millimeter Corsair because you already have some familiarity with tail dragger stuff. You just have to know that when you get into a warbird, you don't have big Tundra tires. You got smaller tires. And, you know, you don't want to jam the throttle as forward very quickly on takeoff because that's where you cause a lot of left-turning tendencies where, like a Carbon Cub doesn't have as much of it and usually tends to have a bigger rudder to it, and you can counteract that left-turning tendency and stuff. So yeah, by all means, man, get yourself whichever tail dragger you want. And in fact, let me know, is there something specific warbird-wise, Dean, that you wanted to get? Just go ahead and throw it up here and I'll tell you. But any of the tail draggers out there. And in fact, you probably could, since you have experience, you probably could go with something smaller. But again, I will say, if you go 1400 millimeter or higher, they just fly a little better. They're bigger, more docile. They handle the wind a little better. You guys have better control of them. So, you know, yeah, you can go with, Dean, you can go with any warbird pretty much that you want if you've been flying a Carbon Cub. Just understand that with the Carbon Cubs, they're a little easier taking off. They got bigger tires, and when you take off, you have left-turning tendencies. They're just not as pronounced as with a warbird. You're just going to see more of it. I highly recommend, I got to tell you, one of my favorite planes in the darn whole universe is the FMS P40 Flying Tiger, the B model. That thing's awesome. I mean, it has fairly wide landing gear, big tires for grass. It's very docile taking off. You know, traditionally, P40 Warhawks in the real world, they're very short coupled. The rudder from the center of gravity is just short. So they've always been a challenge. In the real world, I've never flown one, of course, but the FMS one is so easy to take off with, and it'll fly nicely slow, and it'll fly nicely really fast too. So that's one I can recommend. But any of those tail draggers are awesome that you can go with. So let me see here. What else do we have? Pay It Forward says, let's see, Hamilton. Yeah, 1500 millimeter E-flite 51. Yeah, if you're flying the Carbon Z Cub, yeah, you can go right to this. You won't have any problem because this is a nice big plane, handles the weather good, the wind good, and it's got big wheels. So I also would recommend, if you're getting into your first warbird, if you have low-cut, well-groomed grass, fly it off of grass first, you know, and do it in lighter winds or headwinds at least, because grass is way more forgiving and easier to take off with a tail dragger. As long as it doesn't have a bunch of divots and pits and stuff that are going to grab wheels and flip you over or whatever, which, you know, as long as it's a good grass surface, definitely fly it off of grass the first few times, because grass slides a little bit more. The wheels slide on it, you know, whereas with cement, you have to land it more perfectly. And you can grab wheels too. It tends to bite your wheels a little more. They catch a little more. So fly your warbird off of grass first time you do it. So let's see. Park Zone P51D Gunfighter is the first warbird. Is a hand toss though. Yeah, that's not what he's looking for, I think. Robert Glenn, I know a different. My motor runs super hot 4 minutes. A sport flight only on the 1.5 meter Mustang. Yeah, I haven't seen mine run too hot. It seems to be okay. Rich, gotta go. Pay it forward. Finish up some work here at the house. Enjoy the show. Excellent information on multiple topics. You the man. We appreciate you. Hope everybody here in the chat got a good week. Yeah. Dean said been flying the Carbon Cub for a while. Yeah, okay, got that. Wildcat F4F, great undercarriage. Yeah. Dad's RC says, yeah, the F4F has a cool undercarriage to it. It'd be nice if someone made a bigger one of those. Miller Monster Air says, Dean Sharp, in that case, you should be able to handle the ones that Rich mentioned without any problems. Yeah, just remember, say about the rudder and throttle control. Yeah, and then fly it off of grass. Hamilton's Hangar. I like the CJ-6. Looks good on 4S. Oh, one comment I wanted to make about the CJ-6 too is that mine came from the factory for kind of testing out and flying and all that. And one thing I wanted to note that you guys might have seen in the other video, and someone commented on this, and it's nothing that I really knew. And I'm going to switch. Actually, you know what? Let me switch cameras real quick to my upper camera one more time, just to show you. Here we're on the top view here. Let's see if I can get this pulled a little farther this way. Something to note in my videos when I did this, and I'll pull the top off here. You guys can see my setup here, my battery. I like the 3200 Smart Pack the best. And then here's my receiver sideways, and then here's my reflex system right here, which I'll zoom on. That came in my airplane, but my understanding though is that the ones you get, and it's the wrong way, the ones you get at Horizon Hobby don't have the reflex in it. The reflex is actually a like a non-US product apparently. So you know, if you guys get one from Horizon, I don't think it comes with the reflex. So I think you'd probably have to put an AS3X if you want stabilization in it or something. That's what I'm hearing. It came from FMS, and they wanted me to sort of demo it for everybody. So, you know, we'll talk about that. Here, someone's calling me. Who's got me there? I don't know who that is. But anyway, just so you know, guys, if you guys do get a CJ-6, it doesn't need. It really does not need a gyro. It flies well without it. In fact, both me and Steve, when we first flew the CJ-6, we both flew without the gyro. We put it on later and messed with it a little bit, and in our demo videos we show that. So just know that the Horizon ones don't come with it on there. So but again, you don't need it. It doesn't need stabilization. It's such a good flyer. So we both took off and flew it the first time without the stabilizer, flew it around, had fun. And then we turned it on just to see what it did. And we were like, okay, it stabilizes a bit, but don't really need it. The stabilized mode, that when you flip the switch and it levels the wings or levels the pitch, that's a good safety thing. But again, you don't need it with this airplane. It's not necessary. But just know, guys, it doesn't come on the plane if you get it through Horizon. So, but awesome bird, guys. I'm really liking the CJ-6. It is fun. We like the original green one that ran off a 3-cell. It was awesome to fly, and I still have it. We're probably going to do a tandem flight with those two, just to have the two flying together for nostalgia's sake, I guess. But this new CJ-6 is killer. Very easy to see. Great paint scheme on it. You know, you either like it or you hate it, just like with every other paint scheme out there. I try not to drive these trucks off the wall here. So, but anyway, actually, you know what? That brings us to one more thing. Let's talk about this reflex real quick, briefly. Again, this is more or less sort of like a non kind of U.S. market kind of thing, but I'm going to just kind of talk about it a little bit. I found that it's a really nice system overall, and you can see it right here. I'll zoom in on it so everybody can check it out. This is how it comes, and I found it's pretty nice. It's a pass-through. It's not a receiver. It's just a stabilizer, but it's a nice stabilizer. It's you know, you've got the box here is where it comes, how it comes, and you've got your output wires, I guess, and your input, or however you want to put it. Your aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder all plug into this side, and then these plug into your channel. So it actually passes through, you know, it's between, you know, your servos basically, and your receiver. So these will go into the receiver end, I believe. Yeah, and these go into, like, your aileron plugs into your elevator, throttle. I'm not really 100% sure why a throttle goes in there, but it does. And then your rudder. So it's a 3-axis gyro stabilizer. And then you have this S-bus. So if you're using it for Futaba, you can S-bus it, PPM, and then mode as well. And the way it works really is what this comes with is it comes with this USB-C, and this is specifically for plugging into here and downloading the file specific to the airplane you're flying. So FMS is going to have specific files on the website for the airplane you're flying. So if you got a Tiger Cat, CJ-6, Corsair, Rafale, whatever you have, you're going to be able to download the gains right to this for that airplane. So, you can really add this to anything. It's kind of nice. It's got 3M tape on the back. Okay, this is the V2, where you tape this down to the bottom of the plane, just like we saw it there in the CJ-6. And this is a I don't know what this is for. This is another plugin. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe that's for some kind of satellite or something. It says G-Art or something. I don't know what that is, but anyway, but that's it. So, and the way that you connect this thing, that's pretty cool, is that it comes with all the wires for it. So it's got all the wiring. So you plug all these, into this end right here, and then it has, the PPM mode, kind of like we talked about. All this stuff too is also in the CJ-6 video when we talked about that, setting it up. So check that out. But what it is this is going to plug into here. I'm not sure exactly which way these go in. There should be a plus minus on here somewhere. Yeah, I'm not sure which way that is. I'll have to look at the CJ-6 for it. But this particular wire right here is for S-Bus if you have Futaba, or this plugs into an auxiliary channel in your radio. So it lets you switch. You can put a 2-position, 3-position switch. If you don't have an extra switch, you only have 6 channels. I think it defaults to the optimized mode, which is stabilization. If you have a 2-position switch, it lets you switch between optimized and stabilized. If you have a 3-position switch, it lets you put the middle position, which you guys can see in the flight demo that we already did of the CJ-6. In the middle position of a 3-position switch, it's just gyro off, which is nice. So up is fully stabilized wing level, and all the way down is like the optimized mode, which is just kind of wing leveling. So you pick a specific channel to plug this into to assign your switch, which is nice. It's manual, but it's very nice the way that's done. And then these 3, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, which I'm pretty sure is throttle, one's elevator, aileron, and the other is channel 4 for the rudder. And then this side again, that's where your servos plug in. So it's just a pass through, between your receiver, and you can go to between your receiver, and then it acts as a stabilization. You have to make sure it's taped down pretty good. If you have any stabilizer in your plane, regardless of who makes it, and it's not attached to the floor, if it's moving around, you got to attach it. Otherwise, it's going to get erroneous readings and probably crash your plane. But that's the stabilization. It's pretty darn nice. And again, we went over this, I think, before in the CJ-6 video. So, and they got a couple things here where they show you here the setup. We talked about these instructions. I'll put it here so you guys could always freeze frame this if you want to look at the instructions later and kind of see what they all are. We talked about this already a little bit, but you can see here, like here's the A10, the gains set up for it. Here's the Beaver version 2. They show, let me see if I can get this straight for you all. They show you can download the file, and here's a couple lists of them. Here's the Super Cub, Beaver, F-18, BA Hawk, Futura, Kingfisher. So all those files are going to be available from FMS Model, so you can download the pre-programmed gains for the specific plane that you guys want to put this into. And again, it comes with all the pass-through wiring. So it's a pretty cool system. And so far in the CJ-6, folks, it's actually worked out pretty darn nice. So that's just a quick review of that. And I'll probably what I'm going to do, if y'all can still hear me since I dropped my mic, probably what I'm going to do is I am going to end up putting this thing, the REFLEX. I'll probably take this Reflex and I'll do an install video, and I'll get it into the Corsair to try it out. Because if you guys remember in the Corsair video, if you guys have watched them, I put some weight in the nose, like 10 ounces, so it seemed like it was a little pitch sensitive. So that stabilized it a bit. But anytime you have a kind of a tail heavy or kind of just unstable airplane in pitch or something, stabilizer will kind of mask over that and kind of help you fly it better. So maybe you don't need the weight. So I'll put this in there and test that out in there, and it's a pretty cool system, this Reflex deal. So anyway, let me see if you guys got any other questions. Let's see. Aiden Makatami says, I fly the big E-flite Carbon T28. It's such a stable flyer. Big planes fly better. Yep, he's right. They do the Reflex Gyro and the FMS Hawk in the UK. Okay, so they are adding it in some places. Like I said, it's really not a US market item. But I'm making some videos for FMS, so people, since I have a lot of viewers that are all over the place. Today we got guys from Africa, Ireland, Netherlands, everywhere. So I'm going to make some videos to show you guys how to set this all up for the international crowd out there and stuff. So that's good to know, Larry and I, though, that they are putting the reflex there in the UK. So I think it's going to be coming mostly in the other countries on the airplane. So I find going 5, 6 cell for warbirds typically. Be prepared to fly faster. Do you experience the same thing, even landings? Well, landings are going to be a little hotter if you go to a heavier battery because you're making the plane heavier generally. So there really shouldn't be the plane really shouldn't be hotter to land just because it's, you know, a different cell count, but it will be hotter probably because of the weight. For example, I've seen guys fly the Flightline F4 Phantom, the 6 cell version, and it seems to kind of float in pretty nice, like it comes in decently. I have the 8 cell version, and it's like a space shuttle re-entry vehicle. Like when it comes in, it's just you know, it's just rocketing in and I'm, you know, touching down, trying to throw the brakes on, you know, slowing it down. So usually going off into the grass if it's not a grass runway. But I find, and that's because the batteries are heavier, it makes the airplane heavier. So you go to 5 to 6 cell or 4 to 6 cell or 6 to 8 cell. Yeah, because you're making the plane heavier, you know, or you're making the CG farther forward. That's another thing. Farther forward CG is going to make the plane come in hotter. So it has to do with weight. It has to do with CG, whether that plane is going to come in kind of hotter for a given plane. So anyway, let's see. Dean Sharp said, I've been considering the E-flite P47 Razorback and the Flightline 1600 and the FMS Corsair. Great channel. Thanks. Yeah. Hey, man, any of those you want to get, I think you'll be okay with it. I think if you've been flying the Carbon Cub, you can take off, you can land, you've got some tail dragger experience. Just know that when you get to a warbird, the tail dragger, it's just a little more sensitive. You get a little more left turning tendency. The propellers are kind of bigger and more powerful. So as you take off, just ease the power in, get that tail off the ground. Don't jam it full throttle because then it pulls off to the left. I'm sure you've probably experienced that with the Cub. It's just that the Cub handles that better. It doesn't yank off to the left generally as bad as sometimes, a lot of times, warbirds will do. So just ease your power in, get it rolling down the runway, accelerate slowly, ease that right rudder in, and you'll be taking off probably at half throttle, maybe a little more or less. And then once it's in the air, you're going to advance to full and continue your takeoff. So that's perfect, man. So let's see. Do you use soft brake on any or ESC with 5, 6 cell warbirds? No, I don't use any brakings with 5 or 6 cell warbirds. I just let them normally spool down, just a normal throttle. In fact, actually, when you have a warbird, any kind of warbird or any propeller-driven airplane, when you bring the throttle to idle off, okay, you're no longer turning the propeller. The wind hitting the airplane is windmilling the prop. That windmill effect is what's slowing the airplane down. It's not until you add power or you go to a power setting that equals the speed you're at, which actually they call a zero thrust setting. You shouldn't have an issue. In other words, when you pull your throttle to idle in a warbird or any propeller-driven airplane, you're now braking the airplane. It's now slowing down. That prop is acting as a big, brake. It's kind of like if you were driving down the road and you had one of those blowing kind of pinwheels on a stick. If you stick that out the window, it's going to start spinning, but it's going to be pulling you back. It's going to be creating a bunch of drag. I remember doing that as a kid. So when you have a prop-driven airplane and you go to idle, you will feel the airplane slow down on you, and it's acting as a brake for you. So you have to you use that as a brake sometimes to idle, and then you add the power in, when you need to flare or whatever. So you just modulate the throttle as you need to. So. But yeah, Dean Sharp. Yeah, those planes are good. P47 Razorback, Flightline 1600 Corsair, FMS 17 Corsair. Yeah, either of those, you'll do fine with it, I think. Ian Bowen says, hey, Rich, just turning on to your show. Loving the new Corsair on 8S, definitely. It's with that plane. Yeah. And Ian, stay tuned to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Because I don't know, since you weren't here in the beginning, you'll see it towards the beginning. Amy's over there staring at me. I'll be done in a few minutes. Yeah, she's over there saying, when are we going to go out? We got to go to Costco today, guys. What's that? They close at 6? Okay, so we'll have to probably... Okay, it's 4:15. We got time. We got time. We got time. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, Dean, yeah, about the 8-cell power system. Stay tuned to the channel. Hit the notification bell because FMS is sending me 2 props from the factory to test. They saw my videos. They felt that, you know, it should be faster than it was. So they created a new propeller, probably something with more pitch. So I'm going to be getting it here very shortly, and I'm going to redo a retest of this on 6-cell and see if it's more powerful, see if it's drawing more. And then we may be able to fly it on 6-cell more powerful now, you know, or like with more, you know, with more authority with the new prop. So let's kind of see kind of what that is. So, but the beauty is you can fly this on 6-cell stock. You can fly it 6-cell with a 360 kV motor, go a little faster. And you could just go to the stock motor, put a you know, an 8-cell speed controller in there, and fly it on 8S because the battery compartment is set up already for 8S. It's perfect size for it. So, but you got a lot of power options, and that's what I'm trying to do is give you guys a couple options. For now, I'm going to keep mine on 8S. But I tell you what, if that new prop comes in from FMS and I plug it into this thing and we go flying, it flies great on 6. You know, I might just put it back to 6 if we don't need the 8. But here's what I'm hoping is the 128S speed controller that I'm going to put in this thing. I'm hoping it's going to fly like a champion on 6 and then maybe fly like a rocket on 8. But I'll let you know. I don't want to tear the prop apart either. You know, you don't want to spin the thing so fast. But it should be able to handle it. We'll see. I'll report on that. I'm hoping that I'm going to have an airplane that I can tell everybody and tell FMS, hey, look. Let's put a 120 ESC in this thing, or, you know, just an 8S ESC if you guys want to put your own. And let's make it a plane that we can fly it on 6 or 8. So anyway, but I'll let you know. Guys, just like I said, stay tuned, hit the notification bell so you guys get that. We'll have it out here when the airplane shows up. I'm hoping to do that. Miller Monster, I want the big carbon cub really bad. A cub that can do 3D. Heck yeah. Yep. Dad's RCI says nice. If you up the LiPo count on, but maintain the same, I guess that's watt hour, WHR, the battery mass and dimensions should be the same. Yeah, that's true. Tom Conrad, very good explanation on the air brake. Yeah, and that's what it is, Tom, is that, you know, propellers create drag when they're not producing thrust. Like, you know, when I used to fly multi-engine airplanes, I was a flight instructor. I flew twin-engine planes with students, you know, so we would routinely shut the fuel off the one engine to simulate a failure of it, and then the student would deal with it. And I went through that whole thing, and I trained a lot of pilots to do that. But once you shut that engine off, it pulls back. You feel, I mean, it's no longer producing thrust. It's now working against you because it's creating drag and it's pulling that motor back. So you have to decide if you can either restart the motor, for example, or if you can't restart it, you feather it. And it's sitting out there windmilling, creating a ton of drag, making it hard for you to maintain altitude while the airplane's, you're possibly even descending to the earth, depending on what airplane you're in. But most planes, a lot will maintain altitude. So what you end up doing is you end up feathering the propeller. So you take the blades that are kind of sitting out this way, just spinning around, and you pull the feather or the prop lever, and you feather the prop. So it now is pointing. So the blades go from being flat and spinning to turning, okay, into the wind, and then the prop stops, and now you've almost totally eliminated the drag on that now feathered prop, because it's pointing like this into the wind instead of flat. So, and sitting there windmilling. So you got to eliminate that drag. So for multi-engine flying, you kind of learn that. Now in any airplane, if you propeller-driven airplane, if you're flying around and the engine quits, you go from producing thrust to immediately you feel the airplane kind of pushing back on you because that prop's sitting there spinning around. And in a single engine plane, usually you can't feather it. It's just sitting there making drag, and it's slowing you down, and you have to go to a glide and all that, and find a place to land and that kind of thing. But it's creating drag. It's not helping you. It's slowing you down. So anytime you guys are flying your RC planes around like me, and we go to idle, that's immediately braking the airplane. You've got an automatic speed brake because it's windmilling and slowing the airplane down. So if you have to get it down, you go to idle, and you have a big brake out there spinning around. So anyway, camera angle did not change during reflex discussion. Only side view showed. Okay, all right, man. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Must have had a momentary glitch there. All right, look forward to the sound of the new props as well. Yeah, we'll check that out. Dave H, thank you. Good info, makes good sense. So, all right, let's see what else we got. How many people we got viewing this thing? Let's see what we got. Let me expand my window here. I'll try to get those. All right, we're down to 52 viewers. I do appreciate everybody coming. Let me look at this thing. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. We unboxed the cars. Oh, the 20,000 subscriber giveaway that I got up here. We will be announcing that once again. I just want to reiterate that. We got to it a lot faster than I thought because we tripled our subscribers. So it's this way. We tripled our subscribers per month over the last couple months making videos, you know, with all the COVID stuff going on. So we hit 20,000 faster than we thought. So, but we got giveaways. Horizon has told me already that they can probably give us, for you guys, probably a V1200 or an F-18 Hornet, okay, for a giveaway. That sounds good to you guys. So we're going to create that that giveaway or that raffle. It'll be on my website, so you guys can go and register for that. We'll talk about that. We haven't set it up yet, but I'll get it set up. Guniak says that he will throw in an afterburner or two or something for us. And then FMS is going to probably get us an airplane too. I may even throw in one of my airplanes that's like a one of a kind or something. Oh, we'll talk about that. I got to figure out what I'm going to give away. But stay tuned, guys. Hit the notification bell. So when we start giving this stuff out and we'll do a live show for it and everything, probably to announce it and everything. So, you know, stay tuned for that. So, all right, we talked about all the Corsair stuff, Reflex stuff. Oh, Corsair stuff and Horizon Hobby, the 1700 millimeter warbirds. They've already gone on back order. And just as a quick explanation for everybody, if you all are looking to get something because of this COVID thing, it's a good idea to, and again, this is not just a sales pitch, it's the reality of it. A lot of guys bought these Corsairs before, you know, as a pre-order, but, and then when they came in stock, boom, the last probably third or quarter of them sold out already. So they're already on back order. They're going to be ordering some more. So it's real important, guys, if you guys want to get one of these Corsairs or even the CJ-6 or something, but I think those are in stock. If you guys wait for it to come into stock, quite often, excuse me, quite often if you wait for the airplane to come into stock, once it gets into stock, the remaining ones sell out quick. So you kind of have to nowadays kind of get things on pre-order. So, you know, just consider that because they're going very quickly. I do see actually a break from 2:40 to 2:50 p.m. where we had a lag in my my stream. So I'll check that out on the rerun and see what happened. I'm plugged directly into the wall, so I'm not sure why that went down. I'm going to type a little gibberish here in my keypad because I'm not getting a communication. So if somebody's out there, send me throw a text at me real quick because it almost seems like we went into a dead band here or something where I'm kind of not receiving messages from folks or something, and I'm not sure if that's something on my end or if that's, you know, just an internet lag access issue. So if you can, guys, send me a message or something so I can see what's going on. So anyway, let's see. We covered the oh, there we go. Ray, thank you very much. Good show. Thanks for the info and entertainment. Yeah, trying to be entertaining. Talked about the radio. Talked about the foam safe Zap here. Again, check that out. It is a new glue to the world of RC. I'm going to try and do a camera switch one more time just to kind of test the system because I do have a new camera up there. I'm going to flip it again just so you guys can see. House of Balsa's got this. It's a brand new foam safe CA, so check it out by Zap. It's supposed to be really good stuff. And actually, I'm also going to demo these House of Balsa grind wheels here as we come up. So I'm always cutting and fabricating stuff. So, you know, stay tuned, guys, and we'll have this stuff, you know, on future shows and stuff. So let me switch back to the main page, grab my notes, and I think that's it, guys. I'll try and get the Top Gun pictures worked out. I don't know why. I only loaded a couple, but I have like 300 Top Gun pictures to show you guys. So we'll put that in the next video because the technical difficulties didn't have it here, so I'm not sure. Furball says, you're breaking up, Rich. Text test, thanks for sending that. All good here. I got from Larry Nye and Olson Aviation Crew Chief got that. Great show, Rich. Go build a PC for. Got to go build a PC for someone. I got to talk to you about that. I need a PC built so I can do some of this stuff a little quicker. I need a higher processor. So got to make a living, you know. So, all right, Miller Monster Air, thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it. So, okay, guys, with that, we're probably going to sign off. Once again, I really want to thank everybody for tuning in and getting us to 20,000 subscribers, guys. It's been pretty awesome. You guys have been awesome using my links and everything. I do appreciate that. Again, me and Steve are always trying to keep this an informational site, keeping it a free site for everybody. We don't really want to ask for money for anybody. We just want to keep this free. So you guys can support us by liking, subscribing, sharing our links, posting our videos places, telling your friends about them. Hit the notification bell so you guys get our videos and watch them and all that. We do appreciate that. And then using our links to purchase, guys. When you use our link in our description of all of our videos, and if you can't find it, just contact me direct and I'll send you one. But all of our links, if you use them to buy your airplanes, you know, through Horizon Hobby, Hobby Zone, BitGo, Amazon, any of those places. I got a Teespring store below for shirts and stuff. Anytime you use our links, it's free for you guys to use it. Doesn't cost you guys a dime. But we get a little commission, supports our channel, and we really do appreciate you guys doing that. And you guys have responded well over the last couple of months. We've had some real good sales through the channel, and I know the Horizon Hobby guys appreciate it, and me and Steve do, because you know we work our butts off to kind of get you guys the best info we can. And also, it allows for the giveaways. You know, we just hit 20,000. We might even be at 20,100 now, and now we're shooting for 25,000. So if you guys can help us get there, I'm sure we're going to have more. You know, I'm sure we're going to have more giveaways for that as well, too. So we'll come up with something creative to give everybody. So, yeah, we really appreciate you guys doing that. And Instagram, folks, do I even have one of those images? No, maybe I don't. Follow us on Instagram, guys. If you guys follow us on Instagram, that helps us boost that as well, gives us more exposure and all that. That's how you can support us. We're putting up daily posts there, too. We had a lot of Top Gun posts last week, lots of great pictures. In fact, all the pictures I'm going to show you here, they're all on Instagram. So if you guys go on Instagram, all those pictures I was going to show you here, we posted a whole bunch of them on there. You guys can check that out. The trophies, I flew my Tomcat in the event. It was pretty darn awesome. In fact, here, maybe I can pull up one pic here or something. I really like flying that F-14 at the event. It was really pretty fun. Let me see if I can zoom off to here. And let's see, let me flip to Top Gun, ST, Top Gun. Where is that thing? Let me see if I can find it for everybody. No, it's not ST. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff there. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture. I can throw this up. At least you guys can see this. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't work, but there's a picture. I'll throw that up there. There's me and Amy at Top Gun with my Swept-wing F-14. So, you know, we did all right with it. No stabilizer. We just flew it stick and rudder at the event. It was fun. Had a good time. Flew 4 rounds. It was pretty nice. And, anyway, let's see. A couple more quick questions. Some guys have some stuff here. Great show. Congrats on the 20,000 again. That's from Dad's RC Hangar. Well, guys, got to build a PC. I got that one. Your thoughts on the new president, Ian Brown? I'm going to kind of leave that one alone. I think we'll find out in the next couple months here, next month or year, what it's going to be like. So it says, you fly any nitro or gas? I used to fly nitro and gas all the time, but I've gone to electric. It's cleaner. I keep the planes in the house. And let's see. Miller Monster said, oh, yeah, hit me up on Facebook or something, man. I got you. Okay, cool. We'll talk about that maybe. Thanks, Rich. Love Corsair. Les Bynum says, great show. Dean Sharp, many thanks. Anytime, Dean. FMS developing an update for the Firecat. Is that talking about for the Tiger Cat with the Fire version? I'm not sure. Great channel. Love the info you give us. I appreciate it. That's what I'm about, is info. Great live stream, Rich. Well done. Glitches do happen. Yeah, I'll have to see where that went down. Olson Aviation Crew Chief, couple of beautiful gals. Yeah, pretty girls. Let's see. Ray Witzak says, I've been updating to flying electric the last couple years. up to 14 brushless and 6 nitro. May need intervention. Yeah, no, electric's the way to go, man. It's cleaner. It's easier to deal with. There's no smell of oil, no mess or whatever. You just got to make sure you don't burn your house down with the batteries or whatever. So, but anyway, guys, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting us to 20,000 subscribers. We do appreciate that once again. Please use our links to purchase in our descriptions below all our videos, and ask me if you guys can't find one. Hit the bell. Get notified when we have new stuff, and there's new stuff coming out. We're waiting on the REFLEX to come. We'll have new Corsair stuff coming. I'll have Steve. He's going to be flying the CJ-6. We'll have the cars out driving around. We'll have the NX6 in an airplane next, so stay tuned. So anyway, guys, with that, I will let you all go. Brian Chambers just came here. Hey, guys, I really appreciate it. Watch it in the rerun. Pass it to everybody. We do appreciate you guys really for watching, and I will let you guys go. Thank you very much again, guys, and we will see you guys next time.